It is the Mike Missanelli Show. It is a Friday. We're wrapping up the week today with a lot of stuff that we talked about all week and some new stuff. I got to say from the jump that, I had planned this to be a happy news show and avoid any negativity because I started to look at the Phillies win last night. I started to look at these stories about the Eagles getting all this national acclaim, that they're even better than the 49ers, and all of a sudden, the news breaks this morning, a tragic development about 50 miles away from here, where Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, the local kid who made good despite his size and became a star in the NHL, and he and his brother were unfortunately killed. They were riding bicycles on a road. I don't know what time this happened, whether it was dark, whether they had lights on their bike or whatever, but suspected drunken driver in trying to pass a car going in the right lane apparently smashed into them as they were on the bicycles on the shoulder of the road. What a terrible, terrible tragedy, compounded by the fact that their sister married tomorrow and that they were all together. The family was all together for the wedding. I can't think of anything worse than this.
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. Our hearts go out to the Gaudreau family. I grew up going to Hollydale. Guy, the father, taught me how to play ice hockey, man.
You had a personal connection with the father, Guy.
Great guy, great family. It's tragic. There's no words for it, really.
It's stunning. It really is. I mean, how could they process? How could the family process that? How could that wedding ever be looked at? Now, I assume that they would cancel the wedding, but even if they reschedule it, I mean, there's always going to be the specter of that hovering over them. That day before the wedding, their brothers were killed in just that terrible, needless, senseless accident.
It's terrible. You're right. I mean, it's not something that the family will ever get over. So, yeah, our hearts go out to the Gaudreaus and everyone involved. It's just, there are no words. You're right. We came in today thinking it was going to be this exciting, happy show, big win by the Phillies, and then you get that news dropped on you, and it just affects you in a different way.
Yeah. All right. So, listen, there were some good things that happened last night for your Philadelphia Phillies as they take game one of this big series with the Braves, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. They looked dead in the water early on in that game, and then all of a sudden they get some life. And this is where I'm going to tell you that a managerial mistake can really cost you. And a guy like Rob Thompson would not make this kind of mistake.
I'm going to give you this.
This is where I'm going to try to win points with you about Rob Thompson.
I know where you're going, and I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, so let's go now to the inning that really brought the Phillies back into the game. And Castellanos, obviously, his two-run homer to center field wins the game. I don't know how he knew that was gone, but he did from the jump. So here we are. We're in the sixth inning. And it's the bottom of the sixth, and Charlie Morton has been, let's face it, his command wasn't the greatest last night. So he's getting by on guile. So Castellanos singles to start that inning to left. He gets a Stott to strike out, but that was a 7-pitch at bat. And then he goes to Real Muto, who also, after a 7-pitch at bat, he singles on the 7th pitch. So the last two hitters, he had thrown 14 pitches to him when Marsh comes up. Snitker's got a left-hander in the bullpen, and he elects to have Charlie Morton pitch to Brandon Marsh, who okay, you might not look at him as a slugger, but he's been hot lately. He's been swinging a hot stick lately. So I have no idea what baseball earth Snitker thought that he should leave Charlie Morton in that particular situation, but he does leave him in. First pitch is a sloppy curveball that he tried to get at a front door, and the second pitch was a curveball right down the middle of the plate. And he hits it. When he hit it, I said, that's a pop fly. But the ball, the wind current, carries it out for a 3-run homer, which completely turned the game around, Bill. Now, tell me if Rob Thompson would have brought in a left-hander in that situation.
I think Topper would have 100% brought in a lefty in that situation. And the reason it didn't make any sense, not only had Morton thrown a lot of pitches, to your point, if he was worried about bringing in a lefty that would then have to also face Austin Hayes, although Austin Hayes, yes, his splits are better against lefties, he's only hit one home run against a left-handed pitcher, you're up 3-0 in that game. So I'm okay. You bring it in because you got Schwarber, who's a lefty, coming up after Hayes. So he made the mistake of saying, all right, we're going to try to get past Marsh. We'll keep the righty in against Hayes, and then I'll make the change. Well, wrong decision.
Yeah, if you bring the left-hander in, he's got to pitch to 3 hitters, right? Austin Hayes is the right-hand hitter he's got to face. It's not exactly, Willie Mays that you're facing in that particular situation. So I don't know what he was thinking. Morton, I think, was over 100 pitches.
He was.
At the time that he left him in for that at-bat. But it was to the Phillies' benefit. And I the first thing I thought about is Snitker made a mistake Thompson would have never made. He just never would have made that mistake.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this.
Right.
I agree. Rob Thompson probably would have won that game if he was the Braves manager.
Okay. All right. So, big win for the Phils. Castellanos and Marsh are on fire. The last 7 games, Marsh 346 with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. He scored 5 runs since the All-Star break. Castellanos, who we both don't trust, is hitting 296 with 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, and 21 runs scored with an 852 OPS. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it goes back even farther. If you go back to May 19th, Castellanos is batting 280, 15 home runs, 56 RBIs, 817 OPS. But here's my problem, Mike. Maybe you could help me. Maybe you could be my therapist here. I look at Nick Castellanos the way that you would look at a significant other who broke your heart several times, but now promises you that things are going to be different this time around. That's how I look at him, because he's let me down 2 years in a row in the postseason. We've seen him go through these horrible slumps, but can he fully be trusted now? Can you fully accept him back?
I'm off to doubting him. I can't sit here. As hot as he is, I can't have any negative feelings towards him. I mean, maybe he goes into a slump. First of all, he rubs me the wrong way because he's a strange guy. He just comes off as very strange.
He's a little,
he's not like,
different.
To me, he's not a likable guy, but I don't care about that now. If he's going to, he's helping carry this team right now. So,
he's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he has been unbelievable. So the Phillies with a big win last night. They got to face Ronaldo Lopez tonight. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so the other happy news that I was going to put forth a couple of happy moments here for your Philadelphia Eagles as we slowly trudge towards a frickin' start of a season, which now has the Eagles scared to death. They can't even move in their hotel room because it's in Brazil with all this consternation that's going on and all the lecturing. Stay in your hotel. Don't go outside. Don't even show up on the streets with a cell phone because you're going to get robbed. And they're worried about it. They have introduced all this panic about going to Brazil to the point where some players are saying, why are we even going?
Yeah, it continued this morning, and we heard from A.J. Brown, Devontae yesterday. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson today retweets a tweet about the wildfires, and he says, do you really think it's safe to play there, with multiple exclamation points? So clearly the Eagles are not happy about having to go to Brazil.
Crime, wildfires, what else you got you want to throw in there? The plague? Is that coming through Brazil?
I'm not hearing this from the Packers, though. Have you heard
they're
anything?
not, which means, I said this before, if the Eagles are a little freaked now because the organization has introduced the freak factor, I wonder if this makes the Packers a favorite. You going to take the Packers in this game, even though it's 2.5 with the Eagles?
I still think the Eagles win this game.
I
still think they win this game. Now, the Eagles just announced. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with it being in Brazil, but you've heard the rumors that you can't wear green. You've heard those rumors?
Yeah, it was debunked, and now it's back, right?
Well, interesting. The Eagles just tweeted out, you've never seen this combo before, referring to the uniforms they're going to wear. Uh-huh. No green in the uniforms for the Eagles.
They're
going black helmets.
They're respecting that.
Yeah, they're not even wearing their green helmets. They're going black helmets, black pants, white jerseys.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. It's got eyes or whatever the green, but anyway, supposedly it was debunked, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, so you don't wear the green. I don't know. All right, so here's why I'm going to laud them, because nationally, I've read a couple stories, ESPN, CBS Sports, these well-respected industries, and the first one on ESPN, would you rather have the Eagles' 5 ranked offensive players or the 49ers' 6 offensive personnel. Now, the 49ers have Trent Williams at left tackle, Christian McCaffrey running back, Kittle, Debo, Brandon Ayuk. But the talent evaluators who were surveyed, executives around the league, said that the Eagles get the edge with their offensive personnel, better offensive line, better core of receivers. Saquon will be a big piece. I'm taking the O-line. Very close, but that puts the Eagles over the top with the duo of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts. And to piggyback off of that, let me look at this ranking here of the All-NFC team. The quarterback selected for the All-NFC team was Jalen Hurts over.
That's the correct.
Everybody else, including Brock Purdy.
That's the correct rankings.
And Dak Prescott. And in other rankings, we've seen Dak ranked higher than Jalen Hurts.
Not according to Bill Colarulo's quarterback rankings
Not
that we did.
according to your quarterbacks, but for these national NFL experts, a few of them had Dak over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I don't put him there. The closest NFC quarterback I have to Jalen is actually Jared Goff. I think Goff is a very underrated quarterback. But when you look at the NFC, it is hard to argue that Jalen Hurts is not the best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah, see, I got to hold off on that. I agree with the Goff thing, by the way. Goff played much better than Jalen Hurts last year. So if you're doing it based on like what's current, I don't know how you could put Jalen Hurts over Goff, but some people did. So, all right, we'll talk about all this. We have a lot of things to talk about today. Ray Dunn is not here today because he winged himself all the way to Kansas City for a wedding where I think he's coming back with he will come back, my prediction is, with a fiancé.
No, he's smarter
I think he's coming back with a fiancé. I think he's going to get smitten by a bridesmaid. So Josh is filling in for him today.
Positive Josh. You've never worked with Positive Josh.
Josh is filling in today.
Josh is a great dude. What's up, Josh?
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, Josh?
Fantastic.
Thank you for sending me the clips this morning that I couldn't open. But that's
Josh.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt,
This
Mike.
is my fault.
Yeah, Josh made the mistake of instead of sending the show sheet in an attachment, he sent it in a Google Drive because now it's a living, breathing document that you can make changes to and update in real time. But
I am laptop illiterate.
Yeah, you couldn't figure that out.
So, that's the way we roll. Here's how you get in, 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Bill Colarulo is with us, and producer, Positive Josh. We're back after this. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. I gotta be honest, this is a show where I would welcome phone calls today. We haven't had a lot of phone calls, but today is an exceptional day for phone calls where we can just wrap up 3 weeks worth of shows with phone calls on people telling us how they like the show, what they think about the Eagles, what do they think about the Phillies. There's all these issues that are colliding here on the last day of this week because next week we're zeroed in.
It's amazing, isn't it?
We are zeroed in on football season, and we'll have 4 days together. I'm off Monday. We'll have 4 days together to preview that first game, which will be in Brazil, and welcome another football season. Finally.
It's the best time of year, Mike.
It really is. All right, so A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith talked about Brazil. Devontae didn't really want to get into it a little bit, but A.J. gave it up. Josh, let's hear what A.J. Brown had to say about Brazil.
We had a meeting yesterday, and it was like a whole bunch of don't do's, and so I'm just trying to go down there, win a football game, and come back home. That's the best way I can put it. No, it shouldn't be tough to do. We're professionals. This isn't my first game, but it is my first game out of the country. So you just got to put all that into a factor and just try to navigate through that the best way you can. And ultimately, what we down there to do? We down there to win a football game.
What were you told not to do?
We're not down there to see the city and do all this other stuff. This is not a vacation. This is it's a football game. That's
What were you told not to do?
a lot. Honestly, things that we would normally do here, even simple as just walking down the street with your phone in your hand and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy. So,
well, there you go. So they have been told to stay in a room, clearly. Now, when you go to Brazil, I don't know, maybe you like to roll down the beach, and so as Brazilian women on the beach look pretty good, right? These football players probably would like to get a glimpse.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about what's going to happen with the players, though, because even if this was here, L.A., wherever it was, they have obligations when they go to these games. They're going to be in the hotel. They're going to be with the team. They're going to be with the team bus. I'm worried about the Eagles fans, man, because the Eagles fans don't have all these rules.
You're missing the one big example of this whole thing, and it's probably because you're too young. In the 1980 Super Bowl.
Where was that?
In New Orleans, where Dick Vermeil locked everybody up. Meanwhile, the Raiders are parading down Bourbon Street.
Raiders won, right?
Yeah, they did. And the notion was that Vermeil, by locking him down, made him too tight. They wanted to see some stuff. And so it actually hurt them in the Super Bowl, was the notion.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different.
This is a little. Well, I don't know. New Orleans is pretty dangerous. Have you ever been to New Orleans?
A couple times.
Okay, well then you know how dangerous it could be.
Yeah, I stay off of Bourbon Street. I like Frenchman Street, the jazz and all that. It's a nice little area.
Yeah, but people want to see the main tourist attraction, so they roll there.
But yeah, it is dangerous. I had a girl who lived there. We went to college together. Who told me and my buddy I was with, just be very careful everywhere you go.
I have a New Orleans story, too, that involves a party. I think I'll tell it a little later.
All right. So,
I don't know if it's in poor taste.
You got to think about it.
It's not really in poor taste. It's just, it's kind of cringeworthy.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat. We got to hear about this.
Yeah, a little later, I'll process on whether we can do this.
So, you had said you want some phone calls to wrap up some topics today. I'm curious that we haven't gotten a lot of phone calls yet because I'm getting killed in the chat for something that I said right before the break where I said Jalen Hurts is clearly the best quarterback in the NFC. And everyone's coming at me in the chat about this, but CBS Sports, Cody Benjamin, also agrees with that. So I want to hear from people. If they disagree that Jalen's not the best quarterback in the NFC, well, who is? Because I think there's a severe lack of good quarterbacks.
Well, listen, you can look at Jalen Hurts and project and say he's got skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, whatever. But the bottom line is he was outperformed last year by a quarterback in the NFC.
Who would you put
above him? His team went further.
Dak?
No.
Jordan
Goff.
Love? Oh, Goff, too, yeah. Yeah, look, you could look at Love.
And maybe Jordan Love as well. It wasn't a great year for Jalen Hurts.
Purdy went farther.
Purdy as well.
Love went farther. I just think that when you look at it,
Projection.
You're right. Projection.
It's more of a projection than what the now says. I always look at the now, Bill. You know that. You know me. I'm a now man.
You live in the moment.
I'm an announcement.
Mike Moment Missanelli. That's what they call him.
That's correct. All right. So we also have some comments on the chat board of YouTube about our producer Josh.
We did.
You want to? Yeah. Can you?
So
can you find that one?
MBD usually likes to go after Ray for being young.
Okay.
But he went after Josh today. Josh's mustache comes with a subpoena, a warrant, and a restraining order.
And a role in a porn film. Josh, people are, it doesn't dawn on me all the time that we're actually being viewed on YouTube.
Yes.
Josh, tell the story of the mustache, because you don't see a young kid like you with a muzzy like that.
Yeah, it's a polarizing feature, so to speak. The full story, pandemic comes around. I'm bored. I thought it would be a vacation from myself. And, the missus loved it. And here I am years later, not shaving it, and I'm kind of attached to it, you know?
This is a chick thing?
Yeah, she's a big fan. Been with her for a while. And,
hey, if she likes it, that's all that matters, man. And if you like it,
I kind of like it too. It's growing on me.
What is it with these?
Well, it is literally growing on you, Josh.
These young kids under the thumb of a lady. Like, what is this?
Wait, how old are you, Josh? I forget.
24.
24. He's 24 also. We got 124 with a bad mustache. We got another 24-year-old Ray with the leg hair that looks like a marsupial.
After you said that, when the show was over, I took a look. It's not that bad.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Ray's legs aren't that bad.
I'm telling you, I'm going to bring in the Clippers. I'm going to do it live on the air. You can't get any lady showing up at the beach with a young kid like that with that kind of leg hair. Come on.
I'll have to take another look. It didn't seem to bother me. Some people are supporting Josh on the chat. Some people like the mustache.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Chris and Nazareth checking in first. What's up, Chris?
Mike, welcome back.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, I know I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. It was a great win for the Phillies last night.
Yeah.
But in the eighth inning, bottom of the eighth, Marsh leads off with a double. He's on second. That's an insurance run. Now, why don't you have Hayes laid out a bunt and just get him over so we have a chance for a fly ball or a hit to the right side to score the insurance run?
Listen, that's one way of looking at it. But the other way of looking at it is Hayes singles and scores the run. Like you're giving up an out, which managers today don't like to do, especially when they believe in a hitter. Now, if it's Rojas up, it may be a bunt.
What'd you think of Harper bunt?
I still go with the old school. Get the guy over, and what happened? Marsh, in his mind, he wanted to be on third base because he knew that was an insurance run and a fly ball could score him. So what happens? It leads to bad base running, and that was an ugly, ugly situation.
Well, it shouldn't lead to bad base running. That was foolish. That was a foolish play by him.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the worst that should have happened there is that that Marsh would be on second base with one out and can still score. You know,
right?
The managers just aren't going to give up an out when they have a chance to get an RBI. It's just not being done.
I don't agree with that.
Well, you're old school. You're old school, as Tony Soprano would say.
I'm old school. Hey, by the way, Mike.
Yes, sir.
You still there?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, I can't wait to see Jahan Dotson and Kelly Green. Being from Nazareth, he's a great kid. He's a great route runner, and he's got absolutely phenomenal hands.
Yeah, it was a good move by them.
Yeah.
I like the move too. Yeah, in a situation where Brand Marsh has a brain. I mean, that's full. He was even going back to second base when he tried to go to third. If you look at the replay,
it was bad base running, but it was worse at bat by Hayes. You can't hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield.
You can't. Sometimes you're pitched that way, though. All right, 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli. Hear from you, self-eval. Always good to do self-evaluation. There's some people in this world that just can't do self-evaluation. Right? We're doing self-evaluation. This show is now 3 weeks old.
Wow, has it been 3 weeks already?
3 weeks. This is the end of the third week of this program. And I'm curious to know how people are receiving it. What things have you liked? What things do you not like? What things do you think we should do more of? I got a pencil and pad right here. This is your show.
And we're thick-skinned. Hit us with it.
We have to serve the customer. A lot of people in Sports Talk Radio don't think about that the customer is really the listener. It's not you. It's not you and your dumbass hot takes. It's the customer who deserves information and entertainment.
And when you say your dumbass hot takes, you're talking generally, not at me.
Not at you. I'm talking generally. Some other people who have done Sports Talk Radio and continue to do it in this town.
I agree with you.
You hear what I'm saying?
Spot on. We're eye to eye today, Mike.
All right, let's look at this. Just because you like the Hurts in the driver's seat and quarterback in the NFC. I don't right now. Right now, I think the hotter quarterbacks in order are Goff, are Purdy. And that's where I go. I go Hurts third, ahead of Dak. But there's some people that put Dak ahead of Hurts. The way Hurts played last year, I can't very well project him to be the best quarterback. That would only be a projection and not using the information.
It's not only a projection, though. I'm looking at the last 3 seasons and the projection together. And I think if you look at the last 3 years, what Jalen Hurts has done compared to the other quarterbacks puts him as the best QB in the NFC.
That's still an evaluation over 3 years. I'm talking about
projected.
At the moment, right now, the moment. Can you say he had a better year than Goff?
No.
Did you say he had a better year than Purdy?
No.
All right. Then how's he won?
Because you're talking about what happened last year. I'm talking about right now.
Last year is the most current frame of reference that you have.
I've said this before.
You can't go back in time and give a guy points, can you?
I don't believe that Jalen Hurts' season last year was as bad as some people make it out to be. I think if you believe, and you've said this before, that Nick Sirianni didn't have any answers for that offense down the stretch.
Yeah, but he also, when he didn't have answers before, made plays with his legs. How many plays did he really make with his legs last year?
Well, he was hurt.
Okay, well that's part of it. That's part of it. You got to factor that in. Now, are we to assume that he was hurt, or are we assume that like he's going to be fresh and he's going to be the old Jalen Hurts? You're assuming something that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, but he had a knee brace on, for God's sake.
Okay.
Like, there was a reason why he wasn't running as much. But to your point, you didn't think Sirianni should be brought back because he didn't have answers down the stretch, specifically for that offense. There were no answers for the blitz protections. The fact that Jalen Hurts had as good of a season as he had with an inept offensive coordinator and even a head coach is
but he's got
impressive.
the best offensive line in the whole conference. You're going to factor that in. So we're going to blitz protections. I mean, you got an offensive line that's solid.
Your offensive line could not pick up a blitz last year.
Okay.
When you knew Wink Martindale was going to blitz you.
They're overrated?
What I'm saying is that I don't put all of the blame as to what occurred last season on just Nick Sirianni, on just Jalen Hurts. I've said it before. Jeff Stoutland should share in the blame. Jason Kelsey should share in the blame. No one had an answer for the blitz last year. Not just Sirianni,
really
not just Jalen.
That people are saying, wow, now you're going to lose to Jason Kelsey. He wasn't that great blitz protection last year, right?
He wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And you can't say anything negative about Kelsey.
You can't.
I love Jason Kelsey. He's the greatest to ever do it at center. But last year, he was responsible as well.
Okay. All right, so let me go down the list here. Running back best in the NFC. No-brainer, right?
No-brainer.
Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver, no-brainer. 3 of them. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, that's spot on right
Tight end, no-brainer. Kittle. Left tackle, interesting here. Trent over Mailata.
Yeah, Trent Williams is one of the best, man. The issue is he's still holding out.
Yep.
He hasn't showed up yet.
Tyler Smith, the left guard. Frank Ragnow, the center. Chris Lindstrom, the right guard. The Falcons. And Penei Sewell from the Lions over Lane. What?
Sewell is a stud, man.
Whoa.
That's a close one because Lane's been doing it for longer, but Sewell is a stud.
All right, let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Greg.
Hey guys, you get a gold star on the evaluation for the first 3 weeks, and I'm impressed with Bill as a wingman. One of my concerns last year, and really at this point, we haven't had an availability of determining what's going to happen this year, is whether Jalen Hurts can see the whole field. You know, he's got a lot of weapons, but if you can't get yourself to a point where you can access the weapons, does it really help? I mean, I guess it might if it's, I don't know what you want to call it, a diversionary pattern, but, he I'm sure they're going to have, safety valves available, but last year he didn't seem to avail himself of the safety valves.
Bill, what's your opinion of that? I saw, I listening to Seth last year doing the postgame show. He always talked about sight adjustments, that they didn't program in for Hurts or he didn't see him. Explain to Greg answer his point.
To me, it was less about Jalen Hurts, and it was more about the coaching from Nick Sirianni. It's not something that they've had in their offense a lot. They don't like to throw to the running backs very often. They didn't have any hot routes when the blitzes were coming. You go back and you watch some of these plays last year where Jalen was under pressure early, and you look at what the wide receivers were doing. A lot of the times they're running 9 routes, and there's nobody for him to throw the ball to. We also know that last year, Jalen, of all qualified quarterbacks, threw the ball inside the hashes less than any quarterback in the NFL. I think it was like 5.8% of the time his passes were inside the hashes. That's route concepts. That's play designs. That's less on Jalen Hurts. That's more on the coaching staff. That's why I'm so excited to see what Kellen Moore is going to bring to this offense, because you go back to 2022, Mike, when Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
This was a top 5 team in average yards after catch, getting the ball to your playmakers in space, letting them make plays with the legs after they caught the ball. They dropped to 25th last year with the same personnel. Mm-hmm. That's not all on Jalen. That's on the way the route concepts were being installed. So I put more of it on coaching. That's why I think what Jalen did last year is actually pretty impressive when you consider how inept the offense was.
All right.
That's my position.
I got it.
You with me, Josh?
Like I said, I am a blank canvas right now when it comes to the Eagles and Sirianni. Not the team. The roster, I think, is good. But when it comes to Sirianni leading this team and Jalen Hurts, I have no idea how this is going to turn out or play out. And I won't have an idea until I see probably the first 5 games.
Now, we're talking about the CBS Sports rankings of the NFC team.
Uh-huh.
CBS Sports, Jeff Kerr, also ranked.
Good man, Jeff Kerr.
He also
on
ranked.
My podcast.
Yeah, Jeff's a good dude. They also ranked the top, this is all NFL, top quarterback coach duos for 2024. Last year, Sirianni and Hurts came in at number 3 before the season.
Hell yeah.
Not going to be that high this year. But they're still in the top 10. Jeff Kerr has them ranked as the 7th best head coach quarterback combination in the entire NFL.
In the league.
In the league.
Well, I'm going to have to actually try to poke holes in that.
So number one is.
I need some prep time to do that.
I'll give it to you at the break. But number one is clearly Mahomes and Reed.
Yeah.
Number 2, Lamar and Harbaugh.
Okay.
Number 3, Purdy and Shanahan.
Okay. That works for me.
Josh Allen and Sean McDermott. I'm not sure I agree with that at number 4.
I don't know what McDermott does for him, for Josh Allen. You know, McDermott being a defensive guy, I don't know. I don't feel that connection.
Yeah, it's always tough when you have a franchise quarterback with a defensive head coach. But Stafford and McVay, number 5. I could get behind that. I think McVay's a good coach. And then number 6, Burrow and Taylor. And then Jalen Hurts and Sirianni, number 7. Goff and Campbell came in at number 8, Prescott and McCarthy at number 9, and then number 10, C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryan.
What's Goff? No Goff?
Goff
Was
is
Dan Campbell?
Number 8.
Oh, he's number 8.
Right behind Hurts
But
and
it's
Sirianni.
really with Ben Johnson. You factor that in.
Yeah, they're doing it head
Dan
coach.
Campbell is like Sirianni.
He is.
He's the CEO.
But the difference between Sirianni and Campbell, and I get heat for this, is Sirianni is a better game day coach. Sirianni makes better decisions in game than Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell single-handedly lost the Detroit Lions the NFC Championship game because there's a difference between being aggressive and being reckless. Dan Campbell was reckless.
All right, let me. People are urging me to tell this New Orleans story. Now, this is way back. This is in my bro days, right?
Backwards hat days.
I never wore a backwards hat, but this is when I was kind of in my prime. So Penn State in 1983 played in the Sugar Bowl national championship.
Wait, what month is this?
Against Georgia.
This is like January of 83?
January. It was the Sugar Bowl. It was the New Year's Day Bowl.
I wasn't born yet. I was born in June.
All right, but you are aware that Todd Blackledge was the quarterback of a national championship team.
I'm aware.
At Penn State, and they beat Georgia, who had...
Back in 83, who did Georgia
Who was
have?
their star player?
Josh?
Oh, come on,
Help me
man.
out on this.
You guys are ridiculous.
I got nothing.
You guys are ridiculous.
I wasn't even born.
Herschel Walker.
Oh, that's right.
We're crying out loud.
And then he went to
Dominated college football.
Then he went to the USFL, right?
Yeah. Trump signed him. The New Jersey General.
That's right.
All right, so Penn State wins the game. Now, I'm in my tickets are in the middle of the Georgia section. And so the Georgia fans were rabid. And they're doing like the dog sounds, the barking, and hunker down, you hairy dogs, right? Yelling the whole guy, right? Penn State, there was a bomb. The first series they score. And Penn State pretty much cracked Herschel Walker apart. He had like 30 carries, but he got 100 yards, but he bruised them up pretty good. He never got loose. So Penn State wins that game. So afterwards, there's a big party at a suite. I found myself in a suite on Bourbon Street. And in the suite is the entire University of Georgia female swim team.
Not too bad.
I don't know how that, they were just there.
Oh, yeah, you just happened to be
no,
there.
they were really.
Yeah, Josh, he had no idea.
It was like an open party, and they were down there. They swam against Penn State as part of the whole Sugar Bowl thing, right?
And you didn't know they were going to be there.
No. So I'm there, and I hanging with my buddies. My buddy's going to grad school at the time. My college room was at grad school in Tulane, so we had the kind of lay of the land. And so I see a Georgia swimmer. I'm like, I don't know, what am I, 25? Whatever, however old I was. I see this Georgia swimmer that is just really cute. And so now I go, I got to talk to this girl, but I can't. Like, she's with her friends, and like I can't barge into the middle of a Georgia swim team thing to talk to her. So I'm waiting. I go, what can I do? What can I possibly do? So I see her walk to the restroom in this big suite. I go, voila. I go, I'll go to the restroom and be the first in line to get into the restroom. When she comes out, she has to bump into me. I get a little conversation going. I thought it was brilliant.
So far, good.
Right? So I've reasoned it out pretty well, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wait, and the door opens, and she comes out. And I was hit with a stench that you cannot believe.
I was not thinking it was going there. I didn't think it was going there.
Oh, my gosh.
So you didn't want to talk after that?
It's like, you ever go into a bathroom in an airplane where you get hit with the, oh my God. And so what would that have done for you, Bill?
Yeah, it would have ruined the moment a little bit.
Ruined the moment. I made an about face like a Marine.
Oh, man.
Whoop, I was out.
Now, how do you know it was her? Was it a single bathroom?
Yes. Now, how many guys would have sacrificed that opportunity just because of that? See, I have principles, Bill. I have principles. That was a turnoff.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. I think that would have, I would have been out. It would have ruined the moment for me. But how beautiful was she?
Very cute.
So maybe you can get past
very
it.
cute. I had to really wrestle with my brain in a very short period of time there.
Were you on sports radio
Josh,
yet?
what do you think? Would you have done that, Josh? I was not on sports radio.
so, Mike.
I was not on sports radio. I was a journalist at the time.
Gotcha.
I would say no.
I was a print journalist. Josh would say no also. All right. See, it's not a very warm and fuzzy tale.
No, it's not.
But it's something that I think it's a guy dilemma.
Yeah, but I
Right?
think
It's a guy dilemma.
I think women would have the same dilemma. If she was in line waiting for you and you did that, she probably would say, no, forget this guy.
Of course. Now, again, men think something like men think women don't do that, right? Like the initial inclination is that's just men that do that, right? But actually, women.
It's human.
It is.
It is a human thing that we all do. Some take longer than others. I get yelled at for being in there too long.
I went home alone that night.
Was that your only time in New Orleans?
No, I've been there several times.
You like it there?
It's a 3-day town.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
It's a 3-day town. I like the restaurants there.
Some good restaurants.
It's an adult. I'm an older guy than 25. You go down there, it's a big party, and you're having fun.
What's the,
but then you get a little older, and you appreciate the culture of that city and the restaurants and all that stuff.
There's a place called Mr. B's. Did you go there?
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Yeah. Mr. B's is a pretty good spot.
Then you get the beignets.
Look at you at Mr. B's.
From
That's a highly rated restaurant, Mr. B's.
great spot. I've been there a couple times.
How about you?
I like New Orleans. Me and my wife have been talking about going because every time I've gone, I've been with a group of guys. I went for a bachelor party there.
Yeah.
I went for a lawyer conference twice. I'd like to go with my wife and really enjoy
My
it.
niece got married there. New Orleans is not far from where she lives in Alabama, right? So she got married in New Orleans, and they did the whole wedding party with the umbrellas.
Yeah, they marched down and all.
Marched down the street. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Stayed at the Hotel Monte Leon, which has a roving bar, a rotating bar.
The carousel bar.
The carousel.
I sat at that bar.
There you go.
It slowly takes you around.
That's correct.
Yeah, you're like sitting there, and next thing you know, you're on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's a cool city for 3 days. 610-632-0975. We have some text boards that are suggesting some segments for me to bring back on the new show. We'll talk about those after this. Here in Del Rey on the Mike Missanelli Show, we just got out of a 10 o'clock hour that was brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Just call this number. It's 866-90-NATION. Or check them out online at windownation.com. All right, we've asked a lot of people today to give us an evaluation now. This is the last day of our third week. Give us an evaluation. What have you heard that you like? What have you heard that you didn't like? What do you think what new plateaus should we reach on this particular show? And we're talking about what happened last night with the Phillies. Big win for them. And tonight, Ranger Suarez, minus 145 the Phils are against Ronaldo Lopez. Pretty good and pitched very well against them last week. So we'll get into that game in a little bit. We do have some text board suggestions on what segments to bring back. We have our producer, the Mustache Kid, Josh, in for Ray Dunn today, who's at a wedding in Kansas City. Josh, what do you have on the text board? What segments do they want?
All right, Jason from Philly says, Mike, please bring back Who's Stealing Money in the NBA.
I thought about that, but I think it's played out now. Who's stealing money? Because a lot of people steal money.
Yeah, there's a ton of them in the NBA.
There's just too many that steal money now in the NBA with the way the salaries have gone up.
And they need to hit the floor, these teams. Look at Tobias' deal from Detroit.
It's like self-evident. So there's nothing novel about it. So that's why I'm probably not going to bring that back. I used to do something called the White Boy Report, too.
Well, that was the next text. Yeah.
People love the White Boy Report. But again, there are too many white Euros that have become stars. So, like the white man dynamic in the NBA has changed. I used to do that for the white kids who were like from college, who were the 11th and 12th men on the roster. But now you got the Euro whites who have come in and they're stars. So I think that's gotten obsolete as well.
You may be right. We're going to have to create new segments, I think.
This is all new. We got to go new. All right, now, Josh, texts responding to Bill's ranking of Hurts #1 in the NFC. Is he getting some blowback on that?
Oh, yeah. Someone said, Bill, ranking Jalen Hurts first based on his body of work would be like ranking James Bradbury high this season because of his body of work.
Ooh, pretty good point.
See, I completely disagree with that.
How?
I completely disagree. First of all, James Bradbury clearly fell off a cliff last year, and when you're a defensive back, that happens. Cornerbacks who lose a step, it affects you in drastic ways when you're on an NFL football field. And James Bradbury's 30. You're talking about Jalen Hurts, who's, 25 years old? And you're going to make the comparison between a cornerback who completely lost a step and probably will never gain it back to a 25-year-old franchise quarterback who's 34-17 in his career, who put up a Super Bowl line that we've never seen in NFL history, who's #1 in the last 3 seasons in rushing touchdowns, #4 in the last 3 seasons with 99 total touchdowns. He's got the most wins of any quarterback in the NFL over the last 3 seasons, not named Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Get out of here with that comparison.
I think it was the principle.
That's a bad comparison.
No, it's not. It's like the here and now is what the principle that guy is trying to illustrate. The here and now. And the here and now is not Jalen Hurts coming off a hot season. The here and now is he's probably below, as we start this season, the hottest guys that were in the NFC were Goff, Purdy.
All right, here's the problem. James Bradbury had a terrible season last year.
You don't have to go down the Bradbury road.
But Jalen Hurts didn't. I still am not of the mindset that Jalen Hurts had a terrible season. He wasn't good enough.
Terrible. It was mediocre.
The turnovers were a problem. The turnovers were the major issue. But if you look at the numbers, he had more passing yards. He had more throwing touchdowns. He had more rushing touchdowns. But he had a lot more turnovers. That was the main difference between Jalen in 22 and 23.
15 interceptions.
That was the main difference.
Yeah, but you can't just discount that.
No, I'm saying he's got to clean that up. But it wasn't a terrible season for Jalen Hurts.
All right, let's go to Scott in Southampton. Scott, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Yo, Mike. Glad to hear you on the airwaves again.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey, listen, I think it's safe to assume the Eagles will probably have, a top 10 offense or, above average offense. And I know there's stats out there. It's pretty obvious that Super Bowl winners typically are in and around that top 10 or top 5 defense. And I just want to know what you guys think. Like, Do you think we have a top 10 defense, or do we feel like we have a middle of the pack defense here?
Right now, I think they're middle of the pack. Clearly. Now, again, this is one of the things I have to see. They got a new defensive coordinator who's supposed to be able to help. They've got some defensive rushers that are supposed to be better than what they've had. I don't know. I have no idea how this defense is going to respond. And one thing I'm worried about is one of the sure things. The 33-year-old cornerback I worry about.
Yeah, Slay. Yep. I look at it, and I think in order for them to even be middle of the pack, that defensive line has to be very good, because I do not like the linebacker setup. And to your point, it's a big question mark. Someone could, who knows, there could be an unsung hero in there that we just don't know yet. But that's the only thing on my mind that worries me a little bit, is that, are we going to have even a middle-of-the-road defense to kind of contend once playoffs come? Because if you're going up against the Mahomes and even like Jared Goff or Jordan Love, the first test is week 1 on that defense.
Yeah, let me give you some good news. I have a story in front of me here where they're evaluating pass rushers. Number 1, Micah Parsons, right? Number 2, Myles Garrett. Number 3, Nick Bosa. All right, we're good so far, right? Alex Highsmith from the Steelers is 4. They rank Hassan Reddick 5th, even though we have no frame of reference right now. And there's Max Crosby at 6, TJ Watt at 7, and guess who's number 8?
Is it Huff?
Josh Sweat.
Oh gosh, really?
Josh Sweat projected 2024 stats 10.2.
Wow. He was like non-existent.
Yes, he was. But for some reason, the description of this says, we're bullish on Sweat, whose production fell off a cliff the second half of last season. Well, how are you bullish? Where's the bullish coming in? Because he had 11 sacks the year before, and he had a 20% pass rush rate? Well, last year he wasn't close to that.
Here's my problem with the pass rush. And this all stems from the fact that I am not believing that Nolan Smith is ready to play. Last season, the reason that Josh Sweat hit that wall was because the Eagles asked him to play 800 snaps. He's never done that in his career. The year you're talking about, where he had double-digit sacks, he only played 587 snaps. He was fresh. He was able to get after the quarterback. Last year, when they had to cut Derek Barnett and they didn't have enough depth at the edge, they asked him to play over 800. He finishes the season with 8 straight games without a sack. I think you're going to have to lean on Sweat a lot this year as well, because if you don't get production from Nolan Smith, where are you replacing Reddick's 862 snaps? I got very worked up there. Where are you replacing the 862 snaps that Reddick left? Because, okay, Bryce Huff's never played over 480. So if Nolan Smith is not ready, which I firmly believe he is not ready, you're going to have to lean on Josh Sweat and Bryce Huff to play substantial snaps, and I think they're going to hit a wall again because BG's not playing that many reps. And what else do you have there at the edge if Nolan Smith's not the answer? So I have major concerns about the pass.
So where do you rank the Eagles' defense right now? I had them in the middle of the pack, maybe even a notch below right now, until I see different. Right now, what do your eyes tell you? Sight adjustment.
Where do I think they'll rank? Look, they were 30th in the NFL last year.
Yes.
So if they can get to the middle of the pack, that is a massive leap to go from 30 to 15. I'm hoping and praying that they could get up that high, but history would tell you, Mike, Eagles franchise history, they've never been to a Super Bowl not having a top 7. So is 15 going to be enough? Because I think that's a drastic leap if they could get there.
I don't know. Like I say, I don't even know what they are. I know what they are offensively. I think they should score 30 points a game. I know that. Defensively, I have no idea. And with those 30 points a game, I got to count on the quarterback having a better year than he had last year. Let's go to Malcolm in Maryland. Malcolm, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What do you got here about the show?
Yo, Mike.
What's up, Mal?
What's going on, Mike?
How you doing?
Mike, man. Hey, I'm doing great, buddy. Hey, Mike, man, it's just a little bit of doo-doo, man. Why you do about face at the bastards, man?
Yeah, you got to take me off speaker here, bro, because I can hardly understand what you're saying. Can you get me off speaker? Hello?
Malcolm.
Mac, what happened to you? You know what he said? Did you hear what he said?
I think he said something about
Malcolm, call back.
Your co-host has more baseball knowledge. Is that what you heard, Josh?
No, I think he was saying you should have. He was saying you should have pushed through the stench in New Orleans.
Oh, is that what he said?
Something to that effect. Yeah.
No, man. There's some certain things that to me are like a complete turnoff.
Someone said caller is live from a Walmart bathroom. That's what it sounded like.
Let me tell you a couple
on speaker.
Quick stories about friends of mine that had equal not equal to that. That's like the ultimate turnoff. But a friend called me once and said, he said, I'm at the dinner with this girl, and she just blew her nose in the linen napkin.
What are you supposed to do in that situation? I've been in that situation before where all you have is the linen napkin and you got to blow your nose. I think if you don't have
be kidding me.
If you don't have time,
You've got to be kidding me.
If you don't have time,
a woman, you blow your nose in a linen napkin.
What is she supposed to do?
You excuse yourself and go to the bathroom.
What if it's dripping out? You've had that before, right, Josh? You know what I'm talking about. Where it's coming down.
Yes.
You get up, it's going to leak.
Listen, maybe,
you got to do it.
Maybe you sneak a linen napkin dab. You don't actually blow your nose in it. At the table?
I agree with you there. You probably don't do a full blow nose thing, but you can wipe your nose.
Here's another great one. A friend of mine knew he was going out with this new girl. Yeah, he really likes this girl. I go, so how's it going? He goes, yeah, I really like her, but there's something really weird happened the other night. I go, why? He goes, I go over her house and we're watching TV on the sofa. And she said, would you like to meet my dog? And I go, yeah, I love dogs. I didn't know you had a dog. So she goes in the back bedroom, and she brings out a stuffed collie.
Wait. A stuffed animal or like a taxidermy?
A taxidermed collie.
Dude, I'm out of there so quick.
That used to be our...
Yeah, I'm out. That's wild.
He says to me, he says, and he said, as we're watching this movie, she's petting the dog.
No, come on. This is like Norman Bates type
man,
stuff.
I didn't make this up. How could I make this up? He's telling me this story. He goes, he says to me, what do you think? I go, what do I think? I pulled a poltergeist on my, cut out!
Yeah, that's like Norman Bates.
Come on, man. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show back after this. The Fanatic, let's relive a little bit of that Phillies game last night. Here they are, just dragging ass. And we get to the bottom of the 6th inning, and that's where the magic starts to happen. Well managed by Rob Thompson. Managed his bullpen well last night, too, didn't he? He managed his bullpen well.
It was a great
win. Hoffman as his closer last night.
I was surprised when Estevez didn't come out of the pen.
Yeah, so that tells you a little something. It tells you that he's still going to do the matchup thing when it comes to closing out games in the playoffs. He's not going to trust a closer.
What do you think about that? You like
it? I like the way he manages it that way. I think he finds matchups that he likes, and rather than rely on a guy, he has the guys for certain hitters. Like it.
And if Kirkring,
listen, you don't have the Mariano Rares of the world. They exist in only a few places.
Well, I'd much rather the matchups than Kimbrel coming out every damn 9th inning like we saw last postseason.
Yeah.
But if Kirkring can pitch the way he pitched last night,
he was lights out last night.
Unbelievable.
It's the best I've seen him in a while.
So that got me excited.
Yeah, he hit a hundo last night.
Yeah, and that pitch, how it was tailing back in over the plate.
He made him look silly.
It's nice.
3 up, 3 down. So here we go. Castellanos singles to left. Now, at that point, Morton, who had not had good command all night, I guess you trust him because he's a veteran. But then you got to look at the pitch count and go, okay, all right, he strikes out Stott, so we're still good. Snit. And then 7 pitches, and then on the 8th pitch, Castellanos, Real Muto singles. At that point, here comes Marsh. Now, if you're the manager, do you trust Charlie Morton in that situation, or do you bring in your left-hander who would then have to pitch to a righty after Marsh, but then Schwarber?
If that was Rob Thompson and he left in the starter to face a batter that then went yard, I'd be killing him today because that was a mistake. Your pitcher's already over 100 pitches. You bring in the lefty. Marsh has been terrible against left-handers. Why even take the risk? What were they up 3-0 at the time, right?
Yep.
Or 4-0.
Yeah, it was 4-0.
4-0.
It was 4-0. A horrible move by a horrible non-move by Snicker, because what happens is Marsh on the 8th pitch he sees, it's a home run, but Morton got ahead of him 0-2, so you got to give credit to Marsh there. He took 2 pitches for balls, and then he fouled off 2 pitches. But still, at that point, I'm taking my chance with my left-hander.
Absolutely, and you shouldn't be scared of the right-hander behind him in Austin Hayes.
And Marsh hit a fly ball that I thought was going to be caught, and it drifted and went out. So that was a monster blow to get him back in the game. And then, of course, Castellanos hits one at dead center. And he knew it was gone, man. These hitters know when they get it.
I want to believe in Casty, man. I really do. And
he's doing it now.
He's doing everything.
He just reserved the right to bail out on him.
The issue is I go back to 2022. He batted 300. You go all the way back to July of 22. 282 in July, 300 in August, 357 in September, and then he goes 185 in the postseason, 125 in the World Series. I'm still waiting for him to come down to earth. He hasn't done it yet, and I'm hoping he can keep this going.
Yeah, by the way, in the 8th inning, with 2 outs, and they had 2 on, Harris hit a smash to center field. That ball was teed up. He smashed it. I thought it had a chance at first.
Yep.
But Marsh tracked it down.
He made it look easy.
Yeah. Let's go to Brent in Media. Brent, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Brent.
Hi, I want to talk Eagles.
Go ahead, buddy.
So I want to talk about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense, and I believe that he has a lot of pressure on him due to the collapse last season. I think that he can get back to his 2022 MVP form due to the additions of Saquon Barkley and Jahan Dotson. There's so many weapons on the field. And I think that Kellen Moore will bring a lot more creativity to the offense, a lot more pre-snap motion.
Yeah, I think we're with you. I think that we look at their offense as, it's going to be pretty good. It's the other side of the ball that you have to look at to see if they're going to be really a contender. What do you see on that side of the ball?
I think the offense has to be top 3. With the collapse of the defensive side of the ball, maybe they can get back to 15-ish, but I think the offense definitely has to be top 3 for us to have a chance to get back.
So they have to score 30 plus a game, or at least 30.
I think that we have to be around 27 points a game.
27. I don't know if that's enough. To be honest with you,
they were at 26 last year.
Yeah. I think you got to get to 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
All right, Brady, you sound optimistic. What do you got for a win total?
I got it at 12-5.
12-5. It's reasonable. I got him 11. Bill's got him 17-0.
I had him at 13, but now after seeing the preseason, that was before the preseason. We should probably do our predictions again now that we've seen this team, because I'm going to take.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
The revised, because it's like it's sliding scale.
it is.
As time goes on. But let me move on to see where if any Eagles figure out in this all NFC team. We already have Jalen Hurts as your all NFC quarterback, which I disagree with. This is CBS Sports. Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown are the wide receivers. So you got two Eagles right out of the chute. Kittle, Trent Williams, Tyler Smith, Frank Ragnow, Chris Lindstrom, and Penny Sewell instead of Lane Johnson, which is really interesting. All right, so now let's go on the defensive side. Nick Bosa, Dexter Lawrence. Look at this. Javon Hargrave.
Hargrave's a beast.
Javon Hargrave is one of your defensive tackles, and then Micah Parsons. The linebackers, Fred Warner, Demario Davis. The cornerbacks, Jair Alexander, Tre'Davious Ward, and Jalen Johnson. The safeties, Antoine Winfield Jr., Jesse Bates. Your kicker, Jake Elliott.
We'll take it, but did you
punter.
notice? No Eagles on the defense.
Brian Anger. Your head coach, Sean McVay. Your offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. And your defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. What do you think of that?
Fangio gets a lot of love.
They have nobody on their defense, not one personnel, and Vic Fangio is the defense coordinator.
He's got the
choice.
He's definitely got the most experience of all the DCs in the NFC. But it bothers me that you don't have a single player on defense that would make this all NFC team. Now, Jalen Carter has a shot after this season. But outside of him, I'm revising my 13 wins because I do have concerns about the defense.
610-632-0975, Friday show again. We're asking for an evaluation today. You've heard now 3 weeks of the show. What do you think? If you want to be harsh, be harsh. We can take it. This is free. Everything that we listen to, we input, and we try to give you what you want.
Yeah, it's what we do.
That's what we do.
We're
That's what I've
people-pleasers
always done.
here.
That's correct. Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this. In a second, see if it's changed for all of us. The text board is humming, though. 610-622-0975. You can either call that or text. We have some more text. Josh is our producer today. Josh, people are saying what segments to bring back. What other segments do they want? I forget all the stuff I've actually done over the years. So
after we opened up the first time, we got 3 texts all asking for Hypothetical Man back.
Hypothetical Man. I could have made the New Orleans story a Hypothetical Man story.
Wait a second.
But I actually revealed it was me. So these are precarious stories that Hypothetical Man, and you don't know if it's me or not.
There's a guy in our YouTube chat who calls himself the Hypothetical Man.
No, not the
That's
same.
based off of your
I did a
skit.
bit 2 years ago when we were doing it on TV where I would the story was something that may or may not have involved me, but I called it Hypothetical Man. And Hypothetical Man did this, and Hypothetical Man did that.
Like, hypothetically, you're 24 years old, going to a wedding in Kansas City, and your legs are hairy.
Correct.
And then what would you do?
Right. And the woman says to Hypothetical Man, you know, I like the fact that you're a ginger, but you got really bad hairy legs.
I really don't think they're that bad, though. Josh is shaking his head back there.
A kid like that should not have legs like that. Come on. He's a kid.
Is he supposed to shave it, though? Like, I've never once thought of.
What you do is shear it. You got to get one of those clippers that you put a guard on it, just like when you're cutting your hair. It's just a little smaller thing, and you still have hair on your leg. It just doesn't look like a wheat field.
What do you think?
I don't understand that. I really don't understand. Come on. Well, grooming includes that as well. You know, guys, they groom themselves these days. Bill, you're a groomer, aren't you?
I'm a groomer.
You get in there, right?
Well, they got the new the Manscaped.
I don't use that. I don't trust the electric clipper down there.
But that's the Manscaped is specifically made.
I can't imagine.
What I was told by my barber.
First of all, it's impossible. It's impossible to get without because let's face it. You can shave when it's flat.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
You can't shave a heart pendant that Caleb Williams gave to his offensive line.
The way it was explained to me.
You just can't do that with an electric clipper.
Yeah, but the way it was explained to me by my barber is how they separate the blades by having them. I can't remember if it's closer together or farther away means it can't grab the skin.
I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I've never used a Manscaper. If somebody wants to send me one, I will actually I will test the product and evaluate it on the air.
I've tested the product.
You have?
Not bad. Not bad product.
It's a great product. Manscaped is a great product. It was Rob Gronkowski that was the first spokesperson for it. It is a great product. We got to get, actually, if the sales team is listening, let's get Manscaped to sponsor the show. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Where was I? What were you saying, Josh? They want me to do what?
The hypothetical man.
The hypothetical man. Okay, I got you.
What else?
This is. I now want to make this a topic. The leg hair a topic. There's a lot of ladies that listen to this show, and I want the ladies to call here and be honest. When they see a man on the beach or on shorts with a forest of leg hair, what's their reaction?
Now, does this also apply to chest hair as well? Or are you an anti-chest hair guy?
I'm a shearer.
All right, you trim. I do shave the chest.
What, with a razor?
No, just a zero. Just a zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. You're a groomer.
Yeah, I think you got to shave the chest. Josh doesn't look like a chest shaver.
No chest shave.
You've never done the leg?
I've never done the legs, but I'm not a very hairy guy. For being an Italian, I'm not very hairy.
Yeah, I'm not either, but still, you know.
So we'll see what the ladies say.
All right. Also, people want me to bring back my my plays of the week. I will do that, but here's the problem. College football this week, the card is very slender because most teams, good teams, play patsies in the first game. Now, there are a couple good games. You got Clemson and Georgia, and you got Penn State and West Virginia, and both those lines are very interesting to me. The line has – I always look at a line that goes down. Georgia was at one point minus 14. It's now down to 11.5. When I see a line that goes down almost 3 points, I would side towards Clemson in that game. Now, Penn State, West Virginia, I don't believe the hype. Penn State, this line is also going down, but I can't imagine that Penn State wouldn't be good enough to go to Morgantown and win that game by more than 7.5. So I would take the Nittany Lions. Now, these aren't official plays. I'm just going over it, right?
What do you think about the barn burner between Temple football and Oklahoma?
I love Oklahoma to cover. What is it?
42.5.
That's like stealing. That's a 60-3 piece.
Yeah, you see the 42.5, and some people are going to get scared.
Yeah.
Take Oklahoma.
I got the Sooners all day in that game.
Oh, man. Temple's got to get rid of their football program. This is coming from a Temple law guy, too. Like, it's embarrassing. Josh, are you a Temple guy? I can't remember.
Yes. I am.
He is. I got to ask you a question because I've gone through this this Temple pedigree with a lot of people. You go to Temple Law School. How does that connect you to the university?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I think it's a fugazi.
Yeah, it really does. Now,
of your school.
Well, my dad was a Temple grad.
Okay.
And it's a city school. So I
like
for
Temple.
Yeah, I root for them. But being in the law school, I never felt connected to the school. Now, my wife's also a Temple grad from undergrad. So that's my kind of connection. But, yeah, when you're at the law school, I mean, I was in and out. I would be. You've been to the law school. You spoke when I was there.
Yes, I did speak.
Yeah.
How about the young Bill was in the audience?
You believe it?
When I was a speaker at Temple Law School.
So, like...
I was invited by the dean.
Yeah, as a typical smartass I was, I went up to him and I said, "You're Howard Eskin, right?"
Yeah, which is the worst thing you could possibly say to me. And I turned my head and talked to somebody else.
Yeah, you did. You were like, get out of my face, kid. Get out of my face.
What a weasel. What a weasel move of yours. All right, 610-632-0975. I used to have this conversation with Harry Mays. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. Remember Harry? Harry used to be here. Good guy.
So Harry does a podcast with a good buddy of mine, the golf podcast. Jeff Moore's a good friend.
Yeah, so he's a good buddy. Well, he used to be a sales guy.
He did. Yeah, we're both members at the same golf club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, Jeff's a good man. Anyway, Harry is a rabid Temple man. But yet he was a transfer to Temple.
Where'd he transfer from?
Well, he went 2 years somewhere else.
And then came in.
So I have to ask you, does that make it a diluted fandom?
I don't think
transfer?
So. I don't think so.
No?
I think he could still have the same fandom.
Did he graduate from there? He graduated from Temple. It's fair game.
He did.
Yeah, he's a graduate. Yeah. Even if he didn't. If he went there for 2 years and then transferred out, I think he could still have the same fandom.
It's like a half a diploma.
A little bit. A little bit. But, yeah, I never felt that connected with Temple, but I root for them.
Yeah, I have a buddy who also went to Temple Law School, feels the same way. But two guys that were Temple Law School guys that never went to Temple. Actually, now they're rabid Temple sports fans. Like, I don't know.
Tim, one of them?
Feels fugazi. Your college is your heart, man. Yeah. Your law school's not your heart.
Is Tim
I went to Widener.
Tim a big Temple guy?
Tim?
Yeah, our mutual friend. Because he taught me at Temple.
Yeah, he is a Temple.
Yeah. He was
I don't think he went there to undergrad.
He didn't go to undergrad.
No,
okay.
I don't think so.
But yeah, he taught me.
Yeah. All right, so let's go over this Eagles schedule here. Green Bay, I'm sorry. I know the line indicates it would be an Eagle thing. I don't like the fact that they're going to be kept under lock and key, not go out. I think that makes you tight, especially because you got to stay in. You watch TV and it's all in Portuguese. You have to play video games for 30 days. So I like the Packers. I think the Packers would be a little more loosey-goosey, and I think that they closed the season a little better than the Eagles last year. They're coming in with a little more momentum, a lot more question marks for the Eagles in Game 1. I think that's an L.
I still think the Eagles win this football game. I think the Green Bay Packers, with a brand-new defensive coordinator, never been at the NFL level before, was at Boston College, Jeff Hafley. I think you're going to see this Eagles offense that you really don't know what you're getting. It's tough for an opposing team to prepare for it because you haven't seen it before. You haven't seen Kellen Moore with a mobile quarterback. You haven't seen this offense with Saquon Barkley. So I think they're going to outscore the Green Bay Packers and win week 1.
Okay. Let's go now to the Falcons. Monday night game, right? Yeah,
Monday
night game. They've had a lot of time to prepare for this. I think the Eagles in a romp in this game.
I'm with you. I have the Eagles winning this game. A lot of change in Atlanta, too.
Eagles at the Saints. Tougher game than you would think. I think the Eagles will be a slight fave in this game. I'll take them.
This was the surprising loss I had in the first 4 weeks.
Oh.
Because I'm thinking they're coming off of you're in Brazil, then you got a Monday night game, and now you got a short week in New Orleans where they don't play well.
It's interesting.
So I have them losing to the Saints.
Yeah, I just can't see the quarterback beating them. So now let's go to the Buccaneers. Oof. In a revenge situation, but the game is in Tampa.
I know they beat the Eagles in the wild card. I think Baker Mayfield is such a terrible quarterback. I think they dominate this game. I think Mayfield stinks. I think the Bucs are going to regret that contract like the Giants are regretting the Daniel Jones contract.
All right, I'll go win based on revenge, and this is why it sets up the next week for me because I think then the Browns pull an upset the next week. You do not, right?
Well, the Eagles are coming off a bye. And if I'm not mistaken,
that's right. It is a bye after a bye.
I believe Sirianni is undefeated coming off buys, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's an accurate statement.
I had this wrong then.
See, here's the thing. We're going to do this exercise, and I'm probably still going to come up with 13 wins because on paper, I think they should win 13 games.
All right.
But when you actually look at a 17-game season, you know they're going to lose ones you didn't expect. You know they're going to win ones that they didn't expect. So in light of their pass rush being where it is, because I am concerned about it, that's why I'm reducing my 13 probably down to.
Do you have a win over the Browns or what?
I do. I think they beat Cleveland.
All right, well, let's get you're burying the lead here.
You're right. I'm sorry.
All right, so you're 4-1, and I got a loss because they have already won 3 in a row, and I think this is that bad loss.
Well, let me ask you: do you think Deshaun Watson has anything left?
It's not a matter of Deshaun Watson. I think the Eagles will play down in this game,
and that defense is pretty stout.
Defense. Okay, so I got L. So I got them now 3-2. You've got them 4-1 as we go into the Giants, who the Eagles will bury.
Giants are terrible.
And you got a win there as well, right? Okay, now the Bengals at Cincinnati. Oh, that's such a loss.
Yeah, I have it as a loss.
I mean, that's such a.
Assuming Burrow's healthy.
Such a loss. Jaguars then on November 3rd. What is that?
It's a home game.
It's a Sunday night game?
Sunday night, I believe.
All right, Sunday night game. I got to win.
Yep, I have them winning that one too.
Okay, let's take inventory here. So now I've got them 5-3. You have them 6-2.
No, I have 6-2.
Yeah,
correct.
6-2, 5-3 as we go into a game number 8, and that game is your Dallas Cowboys. Sunday afternoon, November 10th. Eagles at the Cowboys.
I think the Dallas Cowboys are not going to be very good this season, but I still expect them to split with the Eagles. I always do the same. You always have them split.
Yes, so you have that as an L.
I have that as an L.
Okay, let's now move on to the Commanders. Yeah, this team that's supposed to be so improved. The Eagles in a rump.
Listen.
No, you like the Commanders. The Commanders. Don't sleep on the Commanders. This could be one of those games that they slip.
They are going to be improved. And it's all going to come down to...
It's a Thursday night game, by the way.
And the Eagles have got a short week coming on the road from Dallas.
Short week at 4:25 game and an 8:15 game. It's home, though.
I want to see who does Washington have the week before?
I don't know. That's a good call. You have to look at that.
I'm
agree.
pulling that up.
I agree.
So this was...
They're not coming off a bye, are they?
That's what I'm checking.
They have to play on Sunday. So if they're playing on Sunday, what's the difference?
So they have...
Who do they have on November 10th?
They have... Where's Northwest Stadium? Is that Pittsburgh now?
I don't know. Who are they playing? What's the team?
It's the Steelers. They got They have a 1:00 game.
Yeah, that's not a factor.
In Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yeah, you got the Commanders winning this game.
I don't, but this is one of those games. That's why I said when I'm going to do it on paper.
Doing to me here?
I got them winning 13. But this is one of those games.
You're making a case where we're going to spring it on me that the Commanders win, and you're still coming back to the same result.
I am. The Commanders are going to be better this year. Now, how much better, I don't know. But on paper, yes, the Eagles should win. We're doing this on paper.
Right. So you have them 7-3. No, excuse me, 8 and.
Yeah, 7-3.
You have them 7-3, and I have them 7-3.
Yeah, I have them losing to New Orleans, Dallas, and Cincinnati. You have them losing to Green Bay.
All right,
Dallas
we're
and Cincinnati.
7-3 at this point. We're at the Rams.
Oh, this one's interesting. Originally, I had this as a win. This could be back-to-back losses for the Eagles, Rams, and the Ravens coming up. I'm going to switch to a loss. I'm switching to a loss in L.A.
We are both 7-4 because I have that as a stone loss. Now the Ravens on a 4:25 Sunday game, which I also have as an L. That's 3 of their last 4 they will have lost in my card. You got a win here for them?
I don't. I think they lose this game, but I've told you this before. Baltimore has a Monday night game against the Chargers in L.A. So although the Eagles are coming back from L.A. for a Sunday game, short week for the Ravens coming back from L.A. That could be an impactful point.
How are you getting to 13? You're at 7-5.
I'm changing up a little bit. I told you my numbers are dropping because of the pass rush.
Okay. Let's go now. Panthers, Eagles. We'll waste our time there. We're both at 8-5. Now we got the Steelers at the Eagles.
That's a win for the Eagles. Steelers are going to stink. Russell Wilson probably won't be the quarterback.
Okay, I got that as a win as well. So now we're at 9-5.
Then they're going to beat Washington again. That's 10-5. Then you got them splitting with Dallas, so there's a win at home.
Ooh, that's 4 wins in a row, though.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm not seeing that.
Now they're 11-5, and then they beat the Giants to finish the season, 12-5.
Yeah, I got an L somewhere in there. I don't see them winning 4 straight.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On paper,
yeah,
they should win 13 games.
Yeah, on paper. Now that we've done it, it should come out to 12.
Yeah, I think a 12 win season.
There's some funky loss in here. I don't know whether it's the Steelers. It could be the Steelers, and then they win 3 straight.
There's always funky losses in a season, and they're going to beat someone that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
They may beat Baltimore for what we know.
Got to find a trap game every year. That Jaguars game, a trap game?
Justin Fields beats them with his legs in that game.
The Steelers are in the middle of an absolute gauntlet when they come to Philly.
Are they?
Oh, my God. The schedule makers didn't do anything.
To win 4 in a row? I guess they're good enough to win 4 in a row. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've started season. What a difference from last year if they could finish strong.
We have a text from a woman on Groom Demand. We don't have a phone call. I need to have a conversation.
We got a YouTube chat about it, too.
Oh, we do? Okay. It's a text from a woman on Groom Man. What do you got, Josh?
Yeah, it's Samantha checking in. She says, "Hi, I only date well-groomed men, but unless your hair on your leg is overgrown, I would not expect you to cut it."
Well, if it's overgrown, that's what Ray's is. That's what she's making my point. Yeah. I'm not saying just do it because if it's overgrown, you got to trim it up.
Loretta on YouTube says leg hair is fine.
Nah, it's not. They're lying. Telling you. You're at the picnic, right? You show up with the guy, and you get your family picnic, and you show up, and this guy's, he. Well, man.
What did you refer to as
the first thing that the family's going to notice? He's wearing shorts. It's a backyard barbecue. You take this new guy over to family's house. You think that's going to stick out?
Well, my family's ruthless, so they'll find something.
Well, of course. The first thing is going to stick out. Now, arm hair, you don't notice as much as leg hair.
It's true. That is true. What did you refer to as a wheat field?
Raised legs.
My wife texted me a wheat field, LOL. So.
Well, yeah, that's raised legs.
I don't know if it's that big.
He's only a kid.
You know what we're gonna have to do next week? I'm gonna say this, and Ray's probably not gonna approve. We should take a picture of his legs, post it on Twitter, and do a Twitter poll. Are they too hairy?
He says he's never gonna because he's at the age where he's not thinking of grooming.
I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that bad. I've never noticed them until Mike pointed it out. I wonder if he's listening.
It's unsightly.
Now. Poor kid.
He's not listening.
He probably is. Text us if you're listening, right?
610-632-0975 is how you get in. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Last night the Phillies won, but, I was tempted to watch an entire football game, but the Phillies got away. Pretty good football game. North Dakota State, the fighting Carson Wentz's, against, and the fighting Easton Sticks.
Wait, is that what their name
and
is?
the fighting Trey Lances. Right? Don't they have 3 quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah, Trey Lance. I didn't remember Stick went there.
Yeah, Easton Stick followed Carson Wentz.
That's right.
North Dakota State against Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes. They were getting hummed in the first half, and then they weathered the tide. Their defense straightened up, and Colorado winds up winning that game. And from what I could see, Deion's kid might be the first pick in the draft.
Do you believe?
He is pretty good, man.
Man, he could play. He was getting hammered, and he would stay right in there and deliver it, and then get hammered and take the hit. That showed me a lot by that kid. And he wriggled out of a lot of jams.
Let me ask you, though. You say number 1 pick. Do you think teams are going to want to have to put up with the headache that Deion Sanders will be?
He won't be a headache. He's a coach. He's coaching a football team. He's going to be a headache. Where's he going to be a headache in the NFL?
I'll tell you this. He'll pull an Eli Manning for sure. He's not going to play for whoever the first pick
He's
in the
probably
draft
not going
is.
to play. That you can't do that anymore. Those days are over. Can't do it anymore. When's the last time that was done? Eli.
It's probably Eli.
John Elway and Eli did it. That's it.
Well, Eli did it in what? What was the year Eli was drafted?
Well, where are you going to go? You can't do that anymore. This is the NFL. You're first pick in the draft. You got to go to whatever team takes you.
So Eli did it in 2004.
That's a long time ago.
And Elway
And he got caught in like a bad San Diego situation, right? So, like that's the way that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. San Diego desperately had to make a move.
But before Manning, Elway did it, 21 years earlier?
Yeah, Elway did it.
In 83, so it's time. It's time for it to happen
man,
again.
the modern game has changed. That stuff is not going to happen anymore. And I think that kid is immensely talented. And he seems to have a good head on his shoulders. Like he gives interview. When you look at his interviews, he's he's not a goof. He's all about business. He's all about football business.
We'll see. When would he enter the draft, you think? After this season?
After the season, definitely.
It'll be interesting to see.
What do you think of Coach Prime's attack on the media?
I don't know. I was always a Deion fan.
Nobody. First of all, nobody cares about the media. No, nobody. Like, if you're looking for somebody that's going to be on this columnist side, you're not going to find them. Guys define their own. If they don't want to talk to the press, and they don't want to take press questions from a certain guy, the only person that can compel him is the president of the university, who's never going to compel him.
No, so he'll continue.
Exactly. So he can do whatever he wants. Now, I don't care. Frankly, there's been a lot of people that wouldn't talk to me in my journalistic career. And I go, I don't care. I really don't care. Here's the one story I had that ticked me off. Brady Anderson of the Baltimore Orioles had suddenly transformed himself through the magic of magic vitamins into some muscle man. He was a center fielder, light-hitting center fielder, and all of a sudden he blossoms into, he had 30 home runs at the All-Star break.
Would you call them out on it?
No. So they go, I'm working at the Inquirer at the time, they go, it's a national story. You got to go down and do a story on Brady Anderson. I go, okay. So I make all the arrangements with their PR staff. I'm coming down on a certain day. I'm going to drive down from Philly. He goes, okay, Brady will meet you in the clubhouse if you get there like 3:30. I strolled down there. I'm a prudent guy. I get there a little early, 3:30. I walk into the clubhouse. There he is, in front of his locker. All right, cool. So I go up to him. I introduce myself, and he looks up and he goes, nah, I'm not doing it. I said, excuse me? He goes, I'm not doing it. He goes, I got stuff to do. I got to go to the training room. I got to go over here. I got to go. I go, well, listen, man. I drove down here for 2.5 hours to 3 hours to get here. This was set up by your PR people. If they would have called me, you weren't going to do it. Then I went and drove all the way down here. He goes, yeah, I know, but hey, I'm not in the mood to do it. And I go, okay, I'll tell you what. I got to write this story either way. either I write it with you talking to me, or I write it without you talking to me, and in the story, I make it known that you're a complete a-hole.
Did he respond?
And he looked at me. He was startled when I said it, and I go, I got to write the story. And he goes, "All right, let's sit down." Sometimes you got to do that.
I could have gone another way, though.
Nobody has any respect for, like, Deion Sanders freezes out a Denver Post columnist who's written critical stuff about Deion. And frankly, he's game for critical stuff to what he's done down there, right? If he doesn't want to talk to the guy, there's nobody that's going to help that media guy out. Nobody.
No, and no one feels bad for him. Nobody feels bad for him. But you know who I have respect for, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Josh trying to do the news at noon today.
Oh, I forgot. It's the news at noon.
That's right. And he put a lot of time into this.
We're still doing the news at noon with Josh.
He was pacing around his apartment.
I apologize, Josh. I didn't know we were doing it today.
No worries, Mike.
I see. He's filling in for Ray. I thought this was just a Ray gig.
Yep.
But let's do the news at noon with Josh.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, no Ray today. Mike, you talked about this guy earlier, though. And no, not Ray's leg hair. Nick Castellanos called him a bit of an odd fellow. And, well, he was asked by, let me get this right, a young man named Alex Tantum with MLB Fits asked Nick Castellanos what he would do if he would be the commissioner of baseball for one day. This was Casty's answer.
If you were commissioner for a day, what would you change about the game?
I would change that ownership doesn't have any severe consequences for losing for an extended period of time. So if we're in the big leagues and we don't perform well, we get demoted or cut. If their organization didn't perform well, somebody else would have an opportunity to buy it from them. Keep it to where nobody can really own the game of baseball, because the game is above true ownership. But that would never happen.
What do you think, Mike?
It's actually a very thoughtful answer. I wasn't expecting that to come out of it. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, it makes sense from a baseball perspective, but the owners, they're businessmen.
Yeah,
they're not making money.
They're not going to be detached from their own franchise. But I think what he's saying is that you need to be compelled to spend.
Yes,
and there are a lot of teams that, especially in Pittsburgh, where they totally ignore that part. I think that's where he should have made it about the Pittsburgh Pirates, basically.
Castellanos, I think he grew up in Miami, so I wonder if that's kind of like a Marlins thing as well.
Yeah, it could be a Marlins thing too.
Yeah, so he's used to that. But
that's actually a well-reasoned closing argument by Nick Castellanos, which I did not expect. It almost sounds un-Nick-like, like somebody put a voice box in him.
See, I think that's typical Nick Castellanos, right?
Really?
There. I don't think he thought. I think you're giving him too much credit for how much he thought about it.
Really?
I think he's just.
I don't think he thought about it, but I think what came off the top of his head made some decent sense.
It never happened, though.
I give him high marks for that. But you're down. You don't want to find a way to like Castellanos.
I know. I got a problem.
Yeah, I felt the same way. But like right now, it's Nick's world. What else you got, Josh?
All right, so, all these, like, man on the street getting people excited for the football season. This was in Las Vegas. A sports reporter was going around saying, it goes to a kid. What are you excited about for the Raiders? Are they going to win the Super Bowl? This is what this kid said the Raiders need to do this season to have a good year.
How are you feeling with the team this year?
We're not going to the Super Bowl. I already know it.
We got a realistic Raiders fan here. This is odd. This is the first interview I've ever had like this. The Super Bowl chances are not good. But what is it going to take for the Raiders to have a successful season, you think?
Not to get arrested.
Okay. That's definitely an interesting one. I would agree with that.
This kid's a future star, man. He goes into journalism. He's like a take no prisoners guy.
Yeah, and he also is a realist, understanding that when Gardner Minshew's your starting quarterback, you're probably not going anywhere.
Well, that's what I mean. A kid that young with that kind of wisdom and foresight, he's a future journalist.
Don't get arrested. Well, I guess he grew up with, unfortunately, Henry Ruggs was with the Raiders, right?
It's a product of his father saying that kind of stuff, and a kid just picks up on it.
It's probably
like a cynical father about the Raiders franchise.
His father's next to him in the video. He looks a little shocked.
Oh, really?
This kid, I think this is from the kid.
Well, this kid's educated. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, well, sadly, the whole rug situation.
I
we lived through.
didn't hit that plateau until I saw George McGinnis smoke a cigarette at a Sixers practice.
I know most
and then
kids.
then I got cynical.
Every year, you're thinking you got a shot.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Josh, the last one. What do you got?
All right, it's the last weekend we're going into without NFL football. So Scott Hansen ran into someone at a grocery store, I believe, and this was Scott Hansen's experience.
Grocery store one time, putting the cart back, right? I'm one of those guys. I'm a good guy. Put the cart back.
Good.
Guy from like 2 or 3 parking spots over, right in the parking lot, goes, "Give it to me. Give it to me." And I look at him and I'm like, ha! 7 hours of commercial-free football start now. And he goes, yes! He didn't even say hi or anything. He got back into his car and he went.
That's interesting.
What's more interesting?
I thought he was saying, give me the cart.
No, he wanted the 7 hours. You put the cart back, Mike?
Absolutely. And I'll walk cross country to do it.
So I'm with you. However, sometimes when I'm doing it, I wonder, am I taking a job away from somebody because there's cart collectors?
Oh, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. They collect the carts from where you're supposed to put it back.
Listen.
They don't collect the carts from random spots.
If we make it too easy, I bring it back, but I do wonder sometimes.
Are you telling me that there are some times when you don't bring it back? Are you confessing?
I always bring it back. I actually enjoy. You know what I enjoy to do? I enjoy getting like a little bit close, but then wheeling it to see if I could make it. You know what I'm talking about?
I slam it into it. Yeah,
I like
do that.
throwing
I do that
it in.
Too. In fact, I park. A lot of people make the mistake of parking as close to the grocery store as they can. I park as close to the cart return as I can.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Not
I'm always afraid someone's going to hit my car with a car.
I'm not like in the rack. I'm parking it like close, so I don't have to make the trip.
So you plan for the way out, not the way in.
I plan for the way out and not the way in.
That's second level thinking right there,
definitely
Josh.
Second level thinking. And I even did that when I had a handicapped placard.
You had a handicap?
I had a knee replacement. They give you you're eligible for a handicap placard, temporary.
Interesting.
After you have that kind of surgery.
Yeah, we usually park far away because my wife's big on. She's a personal trainer, so she's big on steps. You got to get your steps in. So we'll park far away and get the steps. That's why we do.
You're never ever going to turn into a fat guy, are you? You're married to a physical therapist.
Personal trainer. She's not
personal trainer.
That's the goal. Yeah. Dude, when I was in college, I was like 245. I was a meathead. I had to thin down a little bit.
She checking you out all the time, saying, "Hey, yeah, you got a couple pounds."
She loves me for me. Does't matter. Look at his face. She loves me anyway.
In other words, she loves a blank canvas. 610-632-0975. Guess who's on the line? Oh, my God, when we get back. Grandmom Ellie, Bill's grandmom, wants to speak to her grandson because he never answers the phone. She has to call a radio show. By the way, the 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Barber Service First, heating and air conditioning, where you get 0% financing for 72 months, $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at Service First. HVAC.com. Grandma Ellie next. Don't go away.
It's all
The Fanatic, 610-632-0975. It's the line to call or to text. We get a lot of texts during the course of the show. We get a lot of feedback on from the YouTube chat board as well as we're doing the show. And we'll get back to both of those. But right now, it's the highlight of the show. It's the first chance I've had to actually talk to this lady live. She sounds like a very special grandmom. She happened to be Bill Colarulo's grandmom. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Grandma Ellie.
Hi, you guys. How you doing?
Grandma Ellie, what's happening? How you doing?
How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well, but before I give you my...
Grandma Ellie, you got to do us one favor.
Yes,
you got to turn down the sound on the show.
Alexa, lower. Alexa,
yeah, you got to take it.
Lower.
You got to go way low.
Alexa, lower.
Just tell her off. Alexa, off.
I'm listening to you on Alexa.
Oh, okay.
Now, before I give you my predictions, tell my grandson the last time he's ever going to get one of my meatballs.
Yeah, he
doesn't answer the phone.
He doesn't answer the phone. Why do you think that? Why is that? You think?
Suppose I fall and I can't get up.
That's what I said to him. That's what I said to him. So you're calling. He's busy with something else, Grandma Ellie.
Wait, in my defense, Grandma, you called me during the show yesterday.
I called you during the show. Yeah, but how about at night when I call you?
Shit, this show's still going on in the back.
Yeah, can you just tell Alexa to turn off, Ellie?
I don't know if you go to bed early. You go to bed 8 o'clock at night?
Hold on, Grandma.
I call you about 8 o'clock and you don't answer.
Grandma, hold on. You got to tell Alexa to just turn off because we could still hear it. Just say Alexa off.
Alexa, stop. All right, I think she's...
you know I love you, Ellie. I wouldn't ignore you.
I know you love me, but you're never going to get another meatball. I wanted to give you my predictions on the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the predictions. What do you got here, Grandma Ellie?
The first 3 games, where they're playing, I think, Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my predictions are the Eagles are going to win.
They're going to beat Green Bay in Brazil.
In Brazil, right.
Yeah, okay.
I think they will.
All right.
And as far as Atlanta, I'm a little concerned, but I think they'll beat them too.
Okay, I like that.
You like that?
Yes.
New Orleans, I'm going to give it to the Eagles again.
Okay, they're 3-0, Grandma. That's nice.
That is, because they play at 8:15 in Brazil at night, right? So they'll get enough rest, right?
Okay,
and they'll play Atlanta at night, which they'll get a good bit of rest, right?
Yes.
And then they play 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think,
the
New Orleans.
Saints, correct.
Right. So I think they're going to win the 3 games.
So they're going to start off 3-0.
They're going to get a high score, too.
Well, let's go to the 4th game then.
I have faith in my Eagles.
They played the stinky Tampa Bay Bucks in Game 4, Grandma. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about them. I have to see how they do in the first 3 games.
Okay, so you're a 3-game at a time.
Yeah. Right. If they do good, and I think they will do good.
Okay. Grandma, let me ask you.
Hold off for the other games, and I'll call you back on them.
All right. Now, what kind of a grandson was Bill all these years?
Oh, he was a great grandson.
He really was? He's never a pain in the ass?
Oh, I was
a pain. He lived with me for, he was about 9 months old, Bill, when you moved in with me.
Yep, and then I moved back in during law school.
At 9 months, you just knocked at the door? What'd you do?
Yeah, I just moved in.
When he came to live with me.
They dropped him off in a basket? What happened?
No, him and his mom lived with me
for a few years.
I got you.
Then I moved back during law school.
Right.
But Ellie, more importantly, me and Mike have battled about whether or not Nick Sirianni deserved to come back. Why don't you tell Mike what your thoughts are on our nice Paisan head coach?
Oh, I think he's great. He did great last year. I think he did good.
He did great.
Yeah, sometimes
he loves Sirianni.
Where you can't win,
Yeah, Grandma Ellie, you lost 7 of his last 8 games.
Yeah, but it's not his fault.
I told you, he loves him.
I can see where I can see where your grandson gets this now.
Yeah, right.
All right, listen, Grandma Ellie,
I think they're going to get great this year.
Good, awesome. Now, can you invite me over for a nice Italian meal?
Anytime, dear. Anytime.
All right. Okay.
In fact, if I make meatballs one time, I could make them, and Bill could pick them up.
Beautiful.
Microwave.
That sounds fantastic. Now, let me ask you a question. You don't put a hard-boiled egg in.
This delicious roll from Cacio, where I buy my bread.
Okay.
And I'll give you the meatballs. You could make a meatball sandwich and have lunch.
It's all about the bread.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay.
You don't put a hard-boiled egg in your.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, come on. Now.
Once you have that, you'll want it all the time.
Oh, God.
My grandchildren love it when I put the egg in there. don't know, Bill, you ate it too.
I wasn't a big fan, but that was always Grandpop's. Grandpop was always the one that got the egg.
I even put it in my blanchet.
Well, yeah, see, that's where I draw the line. You can't serve me any egg. I get it. I skeeve the egg.
And I put the cheese, the parsley, and it has to be Italian parsley.
Oh, of course it does.
Not the curly one, the Italian black parsley.
Ellie, thanks for calling. I want to tell you I love you.
Oh, I love you too, sweetheart. I love Mike too.
Oh, thanks, Grandma Ellie.
And you're doing a great job, both of you. So
Thank you. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. The great Grandma Ellie.
She's the best.
Live. In person.
89 years old. Now, what you can't...
God bless her.
What you can't see...
How old are you? 80. God bless you.
God bless you. But what you can't see, because it's on the radio, is she hits the hairdresser once a week, every week. For the last 70 years, she's got a perfect head of blonde hair. She don't miss her hairdresser appointments.
The elder Italian women, they don't miss the salon. That's a priority. It's like I was watching the Sopranos episode the other day, and Meadow calls, and she wants to get together for lunch with Carmela. Okay, so Mom, can we have lunch tomorrow? And Carmela goes, well, I got my nails in the morning.
Yes. But the worst part was, though, growing up, not only would she not miss the hairdresser, whatever the hairdresser told her was gospel. So she could tell you something that you knew. You knew spot on. I was an attorney. I could tell her something about the law, and it would be, but my hairdresser said.
Oh, yeah.
And the hairdresser was always right.
Hairdresser wisdom in the Italian grandmom community is very, very important. Did you used to go to a barbershop when you were a kid?
I did. I used to go to a place called Danny's in Glendora, and then one time, I was allowed to get the lines on the side of my head. I thought I was the coolest.
You ever see the Seinfeld episode with Enzo and Gino?
No.
You've never seen that one?
You know, I've never seen Seinfeld. You know that? Oh. I know it's a violation. Love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I never watched two Italian barbers. One's the old guy who gives you bad haircuts, and one's the young guy who gets you good haircuts. That was my whole childhood.
Yeah,
I would go into the barbershop right down the street from my house. There was the old guy and the son. And you always wanted to get the son, but it was catch can. So you'd go in there and you'd wait and you go, oh, my God, I hope the young guy finishes first so I can go next. Right. And it was always the old guy I got. And the old guy had, like, psoriasis sores all over his hands. And
I had the exact situation.
He would give me a bad haircut all the time.
Danny and his dad. So I always wanted Danny, who was young. The dad was the older one. And I remember one time he nicked my ear, and I never wanted the dad. Now, you look like you probably had a tail back in the day. Did you ever rock the tail?
No. I never.
I could see him with a little tail.
I had a tail. Nobody had those tails back in the day.
I wasn't allowed to grow a tail.
I get a lot of crew cuts back in the day. 610-632-0975 is how you climb in. Mike Missanelli, we're goofing around today. It's a Friday show. What do you want from us? We're back after this.
Was this Black Hole Sun?
This is
Won't
Black Hole
you
Sun. One of the most underrated bands ever. I know Nirvana had that whole Seattle thing dominated, but Soundgarden
was good.
Big
But the
time.
90s were just so
Alice in
sad.
Chains.
Just so sad. Soul Asylum, were they in the 90s? I like Soul Asylum.
Yeah, Soul Asylum was 90s. All right,
Runaway train.
These returns don't have the words.
Some of them do, don't they?
Some of the ones I've given have the words. Like these are I think special radio versions of returns that I'm finding out here, right? Because his voice would have come in by now.
Yeah, it would have.
All right, 610-622-0975. You're Grandma Ellie. You made a great point to me that she likes Sirianni because he's Italian, indigenous to older Italian people.
Exactly.
They gravitate towards high-profile Italians, whether they're good or not, right? Because they're Italian. Like you'll ask an Italian who was the greatest ball player ever. What will they tell you?
Oh, DiMaggio.
Joe D.
Remember the Bronx?
Joe D.
Remember the Bronx Tale?
Yeah, but that was Mickey.
No, he says, "Who's the greatest baseball player?" He says to Cologino as a kid when they go out to
say Joe D.
And he says, Joe DiMaggio. And then Robert De Niro's character says, do you know why? He said, because he's Italian, Dad?
Yeah, because he's Italian, yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah, right.
not because he's Italian.
That's the example, right? And here's the greatest example. I don't know how many conversations I've eavesdropped on. Because when I was a kid, I would just listen to conversations, right? And so it always Bristol was heavily Italian. They get conversations. And they go, hey, I don't care what they do in the heavyweights anymore. Ain't nobody hit as hard as The Rock. With Rocky Marciano. He's the greatest ever.
No doubt about it.
Italian.
Yeah, she loves Syria.
It's hysterical. All right, 610-632-0975. Ish in Levittown. What's up, Ish?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's going on?
Hey, yeah, I was calling because I probably need you to help me get over my fears a little bit.
Okay, what's your fear? What's your fear here? Phillies?
It's about the Phillies.
You have a Phillies fear even after last night?
Yeah, this is what my fear is. The last 2 years, right? We went in as a wild card team, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had all the hype, and this year we're going in possibly. Well, we should be going in as the National League East winning. My fear is that we may lose in the first round due to us having a target on our back. So I'm just trying to figure out is that thinking stupid or am I on something?
No, they won't have the target on their back because they're probably not going to go into the playoffs as the best team. So if they had gone in as the number one seed, maybe, but they didn't. They also didn't win anything last year. So I don't know if they'll have the target. I mean, the Dodgers are the prohibitive favorite in the National League, right?
Yeah. But I have a question, too.
What?
Did you expect us to beat Atlanta last year? Like, did you expect that?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember. Because Atlanta, what I've noticed about Atlanta, when they come into Philly, they shrink. And so maybe I did think they would beat Atlanta. Because they're just a completely different team. When they came to Philly, they looked like they were, like, the blood drained out of them.
Yeah, that was my only fear about it.
Yeah, listen, this year, I don't know what's going to happen because you don't expect Atlanta to do anything. So if the Phillies have to play them in the second round, if they get a bye, or even in the first round, if it stacks up that way, maybe this is one of those years where Atlanta, you don't expect them to do anything, and they do something.
Yeah, that's what my fear is. I don't know. I've been thinking about that the last couple of days.
Yeah, listen, they gained another game on Atlanta last night. It's another notch towards the second seed. I think what you got to worry about the Milwaukee Brewers right now. Just look at the Brewers. Look where the Brewers are, and I think the Phillies will be fine.
Okay.
All right, Ish?
Right. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it, buddy. That was the most sensible call ever for Ish. See, this is what confuses me about this guy.
Yeah, he's
because
usually
he can have
off
a
the
call
wall.
like that. Normally he's off the wall, and this time he wasn't.
Yeah, that was very well reasoned. He surprised us.
I don't think he's a troll.
I don't think Ish is a troll.
I just think he has these weird opinions.
He does sometimes, but that was a fair opinion. But now let me ask you, because there are fans who have the fear that if the Philadelphia Phillies are a 1 or 2 seed, that they're going to have to now wait until the wild card round is over.
Yeah.
And we've seen it now 2 years in a row. That didn't help the Braves. So do you have that same level of fear where if they have to sit during the wild card round, that somehow they're going to be cold when the divisional series starts?
No, I think it helps pitchers. So I think that would benefit the Phillies, actually, to get some rest for those pitchers who will have logged a lot of innings.
And you could set up your rotation the right way.
Correct.
But there is a contingent of the fan base who has that concern.
And they're just looking for something to worry about at this point.
But I will say this. If the Phillies are a 1 or 2 seed and they lose in the divisional series, I may be on the bandwagon of the Major League Baseball needs to figure something out. Because this new system, this new playoff system, has made it difficult for the teams who get the bye. It's not like it's an advantage as it's been in the NFL.
All right, let's look at the standings right now. Your Fighting Phils are 2 up on Milwaukee.
No, game and a half.
Oh, it's a game and a half? Okay, they have 2 more in the win column.
Yeah, well, technically it's more than that because I think they still hold the tiebreaker, right? So even though it's a game and a half, you could argue it's 2.5 with the tiebreaker.
All right, so right now they'd be the 2 seed. They trail the Dodgers by a game. I mean, they're still in the running for the top seed. We worry for no good reason. We really do. Baseball, everybody presumed that the other teams will play lights out baseball. Nobody plays lights out baseball. The Dodgers are up by 1 game. The Brewers slipped to 2 less wins than Phillies.
You're right. We do worry. And I got a lot of heat yesterday because I made the comment about Dave Dombrowski. Yeah. And I did preface it with that I think he's a great general manager. My concern with Dombrowski and this Phillies team was that I just didn't think Dombrowski did enough at the deadline to help put the team over the top. Not that they can't win the World Series. They can with the team as constructed. But I look at the outfield, and I still don't have confidence in your left fielder in Austin Hayes, in the center field platoon between Marsh and Rojas, and I'm still waiting for Castellanos to come back down to earth. Now, if that doesn't happen, because now I think we're starting to get to the point where you better put some respect on Castellanos' name, and if Marsh can come around the way he's been, then my fears are never going to be realized. But that was my concern with Dombrowski. I just wish he would have done a little more.
Get ready to be happy here because this is the way it stacks up right now. 3 seed Brewers, 4 seed Diamondbacks, 5 seed Padres, 6 seed Braves. Brewers and Braves. One of them's got to knock each other out. You get them, one of those teams are out. All right? And if the Phils get the number 1, they would play the winner of the Diamondbacks and the Padres in the first round.
You scared of the Diamondbacks at all?
Not at all.
Shouldn't be, right?
No, I'm not scared of the Padres either. You see how the Padres play the Phillies? They fall apart.
Yeah, they don't scare me. But anything, the scary thing is, though,
revenge series with the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. Oh, I love that.
The only thing is, and this is just baseball, anything can happen in the playoffs, man. Pat Gillick was right. That article about John Middleton saying he sat down with Gillick and a lot of it's luck once you get to the postseason. Yeah. It is. A lot of it's luck. So I do get concerned. Look, they could lose to anybody. They could beat anybody.
Look, we have a lot of baseball to be played, right? This is the way it stacks up now. Those are the teams that are going to be in it. I don't see any other team. And it might be a different order. So if the Phils get the 2nd seed, they finish behind the Dodgers, they would get the winner of the Brewers and Braves. Now, that would probably be a tougher series.
Yeah, it probably would be.
So the ultimate gift here is that the Phillies get the number 1 seed, they rest up, they get their rotation set, and they play the winner of the Diamondbacks Padres.
And the Phillies hold the tiebreaker over the Dodgers because they won the season series, correct?
Yes.
So, really, game back, it's a true game back. They tie, they get the number 1 seed.
Cody in Orland, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Cody.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
What's up, Cody?
I'll have you back. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you bringing back off at all?
Am I bringing back what?
Off.
I can't hear you. You're fading out.
Sound off.
Sound off.
Sound off.
Yeah. We've had a couple requests for that.
We have plans to bring back sound off. Yes, we do. That's coming down the road. They have to get it all set up with the answering machine and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get that going.
You mind if I give you a live one?
Sure. Give me a live sound off.
From the blessed borough of heaven
Coachal, Eagles, Super Bowl. As a prophet of prediction, I see it. I know. Jalen Hurts, 72 touchdowns. Saquon, 2,500 rushing. Axman Jr., 293 tackles. On the way to an undefeated Eagles Super Bowl.
That's pretty good, Cody. Now, Bill, you don't know what that's about. Right?
I'm lost right now.
There was a guy, I think he passed. He would call up as Coach Al from Bristol, usually the Anthony show. And so Anthony would introduce him by saying, "From the Fighting Barrel of Bristol, Coach Al!" And he would go off with his squeaky voice, like totally non-objective, but like cheerleader of the Eagles.
That's a great call by Cody right there.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Coach Al.
So wait, when does Sound Off go? Fridays usually? If we bring it back?
We did it. No, Sound Off was every show.
Oh, every show at the end of the show.
Yeah, every show at the end of the show. We went to our voice line, and people would call in and have. I would not hear the calls, and I would just react to them.
Yeah, we need to do that. I like that.
See, I've been gone for so long that the new management here doesn't really know what I did.
Yeah. Do we have the voicemail set up though? We'd have to set that up.
I don't think we do. It's been a very slow process here to catch up. Don't you think?
We're getting there.
We are getting there. But,
we're getting there. And by the way, we didn't
3 weeks in, so
we didn't really give the shout out to Josh, but great job doing the news at noon today. Didn't
Josh did a nice job. Josh is on his way somewhere.
Josh is great.
So
I always
he
enjoy.
Should be on his way to a barber to cut that mustache, but he's on his way and for the big show. Big. There's a lot of kids here that are good.
Now
that I've noticed.
Josh used to have the beard too, right? You used to have the full beard.
I don't know what I got, Bill. Every week it's a new thing.
Tyrone pointed out, or somebody pointed out to Tyrone, that you looked like John Wilkes Booth.
That's a Tyrone original, yeah.
It does look like John Wilkes
Mike,
Booth.
if you pull up the picture on your phone.
It does look like him. I can tell right now.
Oh, my God. It's spot on, man. Tyrone said that to me. I pulled it up on my phone. I couldn't believe it.
Pretty good call.
John Wilkes Booth
like
back
John
there.
Wilkes Booth.
I finally had someone who didn't know, and now...
Murdering bastard.
Yeah.
I played Dr. Mudd in an elementary school trial. You know Dr. Mudd?
Dr. Mudd.
Dr. Mudd was accused of harboring John Wilkes Booth after he shot him.
His wife was convicted of that, wasn't she?
Well, that's why the old saying, your name is Mudd.
Oh, is that right? Is that where that comes from?
That's where it comes from.
So, but she's went to prison. I don't remember Dr. Mudd going to prison.
I think he did.
Really? Who was the woman that went to prison for that?
Mike's looking at me like I would know, I'm actually John Wilkes Booth.
Well, I don't know. But a woman went to prison. I think she
he went to prison too. Samuel Alexander Mudd was an American physician who was imprisoned for conspiring with John Wilkes Booth concerning the assassination
I
of
think
Abraham
the wife got hosed. I don't think that she actually was. Like she got wrongly convicted, from what I remember. Anyway, breaking news from a football website here: Sao Paulo, Brazil, where the Eagles and Packers will play, is dealing with severe wildfires in over 30 cities with crime everywhere. There has also been a spike in pneumonia, rhinitis, asthma attacks, and conjunctivitis. You know what rhinosis is? Rhinitis? Rhinitis?
Got to be something with the nose, right?
It is. It is an irritation, inflammation of the mucous membrane inside the nose. Runny nose, sneezing, postnasal drip, itchy eyes, mouth, or skin, and fatigue. So obviously we want to keep football players away from that, right? Conjunctivitis. You know what that is?
The old pink eye.
Is that what that is?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Conjunctivitis is
Wait,
pink
how
eye?
many times have you had pink eye? You knew that right away.
That's no good. That's contagious. Anyway, C.J. Garner-Johnson says, do you really think it's safe to play there? With the emoji with the hand on the chin.
The thinker.
The thinker.
It doesn't sound like anybody's happy about this. I'm curious if, wouldn't some fans be going now? Like, if you're going to go to Brazil for the game, you make a week vacation out of it, you're probably leaving this weekend, aren't you?
Unless you're scared of the whole activity down there. Like, it's not like you're going to some resort town.
Yeah, it
kind of is, but it's not, because it's reality in Brazil, Sao Paulo.
The Eagles wanted this, though. Jeffrey Lurie wanted to be the team that went to Brazil.
I don't think it was well thought out.
Trying to expand the game.
A lot of problems. This has had to be a few years in the works, and so their political climate has gotten bad. Their gang activity has gotten pretty bad. All right, Gary and Ben Salem. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? How you doing, fellas?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
So I was calling. I was trying to figure out. So are you talking about Joe's Barbershop in Bristol?
No.
Joe the Barber?
No.
Oh, man. Because that was a shop right on Radcliffe Street. My grandmother used to send. I was in Bristol from 4 to 12 years old. She used to send me right there. The old Italian guy cut my hair.
Let me tell you something. There were at least 9 old Italian guys who cut hair in Bristol.
Yeah,
there were 7 shoemaker shops, 12 delis, and 47 bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great town. But yeah, so that's what I was wondering. I'm like, I wonder if he's talking about that. Like, it was pretty funny. But the Seinfeld episode is amazing. It's crazy. He was hiding. Remember when he was hiding in Seinfeld?
Yeah, Gino and Enzo. Bill, you got to see that because Enzo had this heavy Italian accent.
I know I'd love it because I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, so it's got to be similar, right?
Because his Gino loved the movie Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, you absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's great. But so another thing, my last point, well, my last comment actually would be, I went to the open practice, right? The Eagles open practice, and it looks like from that, I know it's really bland, but it looks like from that, with everything we have, it looks like Dallas Goedert is going to have a big year if he could catch it. If he doesn't have that many drops, he's going to have a really good year. So
I mean, you think they're going to throw to him a lot with the other guys they have?
I see, and I think the attention is going to go on the other guys. And I think he's going to be the one that he's going to be the sleeper.
Okay, listen, he's got to have a better year than last year. They didn't throw the ball enough to him.
He just got to catch.
And his reputation has slid in this league right now.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm hoping for the best.
All right, man, you got it.
You know what's crazy, Mike? Thanks, Gary. You know what's crazy is you said they didn't throw him the ball enough, and that's kind of what your eyes would tell you. It didn't feel like they threw the ball to Goddard a lot. He had 83 targets last year, which is the second most of his NFL career. The problem was, it was the targets he was receiving. If you remember, a lot of his pass plays, he was horizontally towards the sidelines, very close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
His average yards per catch, which was 15 yards per catch in 2021, dropped all the way to 10 last year. It was the type of routes they had him running. So I expect him to have a big season, but we've been saying that every year, haven't we? It's always like, this is the year Goddard's going to have a big year.
Yeah. I got a Bristol Barber story, too, on the other side. Yeah, Bristol is a town of immigrants, right?
Yeah. So is it like mostly Italian? Or?
Yeah, it's a melting pot of Irish, Italian, the Puerto Rican, black. It was really an interesting mix.
Yeah.
But the Italians would come out, they would have a trade. The trade they had fixing shoes, they're cobblers. Or they had a little corner grocery store. And then there were a million bars that Italians and Irish owned. They had to have something to do.
Yeah.
This doesn't have anything to do with me going in. It has to do with a barbershop story that involved me.
You going to tell it on the other side?
I will tell it on the other side. And by the way, Mary Surratt was the woman Sean and Media called and said she was hanged in connection to the Lincoln assassination. But I remember hearing a story that she was wrongfully hanged.
I'd have to look into it.
We got to look at, since our producer, John Wilkes Booth, will be with us for the next hour. It's the Mike Missanelli Show back after this. It's the 1 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show. This hour is brought to us by Ferguson, HVAC, Lion Conklin. Attention, you HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. This is one of Ferguson's now locations in Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pensacola, or Westchester. We just had a visitor today, Mike from Cosme's Deli, South Philly.
See that spread out there?
Stopped by. I didn't see it yet. He brought some sandwiches, some tremendous sandwiches. And he provided me with a list that I used to use. He's big into movies like me, so he gave me a list of like 100 movie characters. And so if I gave you a character, you have to get the movie. We'll do this at another time.
Wait, is it in order of like the best or just 100 characters?
Just 100 characters. Like if I say to you, Quint.
Wait, it's a police officer.
No. Quint was the captain in Jaws.
Captain Quint.
Yeah.
That's why I said police officer. I'm hearing it. My dad's going to kill me, man.
So it's like that. But
Jaws.
Mike also explained to me that he his shop provided some food for the Goudreau family in Jersey for today. It's they're commiserating after just a tragic, terrible story where Johnny Goudreau and his brother, who I believe was a hockey coach, were riding a bicycle and they were smashed into by a car in Salem County, on a road in Salem County, and both of them died. Just a horrible story. I mean, this kid's a star hockey player, local kid. This is like 50 minutes away from where we are right now, Salem County.
It's terrible, man.
He grew up there, and you were actually coached in hockey by his father, Guy Goudreau.
Yeah, Guy, anyone who played hockey in this area knows the Goudreau family, not only because of Johnny, but Guy ran Hollydale over in Sewell for many, many years and ran all of the skating camps, and it was just a great, great family. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is a terrible story, and we brought that up at the start of the show, and and what can you say? I mean, the sister was supposed to get married this weekend, and everybody was gathered together, and this happens, and that's something just going to leave a scar for a really long time, especially when she gets married. I assume they'll have to postpone the wedding. Can't go through with the wedding, can you? All right.
Nah, I think that would be postponed. Just terrible, man.
All right. Anyway, 610-632-0975. So we're talking about the Phillies with a big win last night. Gives them some breathing room from the Braves. There were a lot of people that thought that the Braves were going to overtake them. I never did because it's just too much ground to make up. And now the Phillies have to open up a little bit of ground on Milwaukee. And then their fate will lie in whether they're going to be the 1 or 2 seed. So that's the team I'm focused on. I'm not focused on the Braves.
And even though I've been a little bit more concerned about this team than you, I was never concerned about the NL East either. I declared it over weeks ago because it would have been too difficult for the Braves to catch them. But you're right. The Brewers are still only a game and a half back.
Yeah. Now, surprisingly, I didn't think they were going to do this, but now they're trying to milk this for all it's worth because they don't want to take a financial hit. They announced yesterday that Taiwan Walker is going to go to the bullpen. I thought they would have definitely DFA'd him and maybe given him a chance to hook on with somebody else, and they would have to pay for that. But they're going to try to make him a long man. Hopefully they don't need him as a long man. I don't know. Like, what's the weakness? I guess the only time he'll pitch will be in relief for whatever guy. Like Tyler Phillips is going to take that spot now, and then maybe Allard takes it, and if those guys can get through 4, that's the only time he'll ever pitch.
Yeah, our man Ray called this yesterday. He did say, Ray Dunn, who's not with us today because he's had a wedding in Kansas City, he said this was a possibility, and he was right. Now, the only positive for you, Mike, is maybe you don't have to see a position player ever come in a blowout again because it'll be Walker.
They wouldn't throw him in that kind of situation. That wouldn't be. They don't want him to embarrass him.
But when else are they going to use him?
But that's embarrassing. They would use him in only they would use him in long relief. If one of their starters wears out after 4, he would get 5 and 6. That's the only time he would pitch.
10-0 game, you think they'd still bring in a position player over Walker?
If they're down 10-0 in the ninth inning?
Down 10-0.
Yeah. They would do the same nonsense that they do. They wouldn't send him out to die in that kind of situation. That's disrespectful. You have no respect for baseball players.
I do.
You don't. You don't have any respect at all. You throw Taiwan Walker out there, who was a starter, a competent starter. You're going to throw him in a garbage time and embarrass him more? Come on.
You should have DFA'd him. So the fact that he's even here is a gift enough.
Yeah, it is. 610-632-0975. Okay, I got to tell this story before I forget about it.
Oh, the Barber story.
Yeah. It involves a barber. It doesn't involve me going to the barber. So one of the most traumatic points of my life was when I was 12 years old. I was a star Little League player. And I was a pitcher.
Star.
I was a pitcher shortstop. So it's the championship game. And we're playing this team that's pretty good. But I take a 1-0 shutout into the last inning.
Which place? 7 innings back then?
6.
6.
Little League 6. So I'm in the 6th inning, and I get the first 2 out.
Up 1.
1-0. Shutout. I'm throwing. First 2 out. Now, I see, I look over, and it's like all my friends are out there, family, mothers and fathers of our team, and they're all at the fence ready to rush the field. I got 1 out to get. Unfortunately, against the league's best home run hitter. I get him 0-2.
Oh, boy.
I get him 0-2. First of all, the manager comes out to me. This is while pitching a 1-0 shutout. The guy who was our manager comes out, and both of them come out. There were 2 managers. They come out to me and talk to me on the mound when I'm facing this guy. And they go, I think we should walk him. One guy goes, I think we should walk him. And the other guy goes, oh, you are going to walk him? You're going to put him on base? And there's 1-0. Let him get. So they're arguing back and forth. I'm just a kid. So they decide I'm going to pitch to him. So I get him 0-2. I had a curveball back then. I threw a sloppy curveball waste pitch, which was low and inside. He golfs it out for a home run.
That's devastating for a 12-year-old. He
golfs it out for a home run to tie the score. I'm like, everybody's apoplectic about it, right? And I'm like, I'm almost ready to cry here. I've lost this game. I couldn't pitch more than 6 innings. There was a rule that you couldn't pitch the 7th. We wound up losing the game in the 8th inning. Years go by, and I'm talking about years. I used to do a show at CN8. Remember CN8, the network? That Comcast had a CN8, like sister network, and we had a show on there. It was like a four-corner show. The regional networks that would all get together. It was a sports show, and so there's a producer over there, and he goes, hey, Did you give up a big home run when you were a kid? I go, what? I'm like 48 at this point, right? He goes, I live in Bristol Borough. He says, I was getting my hair cut the other day, and a guy goes, you work with Missanelli? And he says, yeah. He goes, well, I can remember that home run he gave up. And I can't believe that. Some old barber, some old Italian barber.
Never forget.
Like it was like a big thing. I didn't come out of my house for 3 days.
You got a lot of good memories too, though, right? A lot of good sports memories from a kid.
I don't think I've ever gotten over that. I really haven't. I just think about that.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
For 3 days, I didn't come out of the house. I think people were going to point their finger at me.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't think I have a bad memory like that.
Yeah, well, that was. Yeah.
Hey, big news.
Terrible.
Big news for you, Mike.
What?
Your buddy TJ McConnell.
Signing with the Sixers?
No.
What?
Indiana Pacers just gave him a 4-year, $45 million extension.
You know what? God bless the kid. God bless him. In a million years, I could have never figured that man would make $1 in the NBA, and he's made about $100 million.
Yeah, made a nice little career for
himself. I can see how much he's made, actually.
So this deal with the extension will be a 5-year, $54 million deal. So, yeah, what are his career earnings?
People think I hate TJ McConnell. I only hate the fact that he's a white guard who can't shoot. That's the only thing I hate.
He's an energy guy.
I just don't get it. I don't get it how you could grow up white but he's playing basketball and not be able to have a jump shot. I don't understand it.
He's an energy guy.
I know he's an energy guy. Why can't he be an energy guy who shoots a jumper?
So he made, in Philly, he made $4.5 million. The Pacers, he started with another $7 million deal. So now we're at $11.5. And then this deal's going to be worth $54. So he's made, over $65 million in his career? Good job, TJ.
That is pretty miraculous. It really is. Let's go to Norman in Northeast Philly. What's up, Norman?
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Norman? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. He couldn't shoot like you did at the Bluster.
Yeah,
right?
I could fire back in the day, Norm. You know me.
I sure do. Long time ago, I played in an over 40 basketball tournament in Sao Paulo, which is more populated than New York City. They have about 12 million compared to 9 million in New York City.
Wow.
So, our team was on the way to a restaurant, and I noticed a bunch of teenagers on the street looking at our feet. I asked our Brazilian guard, what's going on? Why is everybody looking at our feet? His answer was they want to figure out how to get your Jordan sneaks off of your feet.
Uh-huh.
Needless to say, we never wore nice sneaks, can't wear nice watches.
Wow. How'd you escape out of that? You had the sneakers on. What did you do at that point?
Well, we had the guard, and they didn't let us go to many places.
Wow.
But the restaurant, the barbecue is miraculous. And
unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do anything like that. That's the thing. I don't understand why they didn't know this before they scheduled that.
Well, you got all these people going, and I'm sure they have to know you got to be careful. But it's an incredible place. The women are spectacular. Hope my wife isn't listening, but it's really...
Yeah, well, they're noted for that.
I wanted to know what you thought about the Eagles' defense up front pass rush and how their linebackers are going to stop the slant passing routes of their opponents, which they, seems like a weakness on this team.
Yeah, well, the slot corner's going to have to figure a lot of that. Linebackers, we'll see. I don't know how these guys can cover. Bond really was a guy that you look to rush. Dean is okay in covers, but he's not that fast to cover. But Devin White's got some. I think Devin White can cover a little bit. He's got good athletic ability. We'll see. But I think the slot corner, the way Fangio will design it, he probably won't put his linebackers on an island, Norm.
He doesn't blitz a lot, correct?
Yeah.
So, I think that's probably a problem.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you. Norman used to be one. We used to have the media game. We used to play the Pleasure every Wednesday.
Oh, and he used to come watch you?
No, Norm would play.
Oh, he would play too?
Yeah.
He sounded like he was a pretty good player back in the day.
Norm, yeah.
But Fangio doesn't blitz in the traditional sense, meaning where you're bringing more than the offense has to block. But he does bring his linebackers, and he drops his edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still only going to bring 4. He's not bringing more than 4, but he does do it a little bit creatively where you'll probably see Devin White, Zach Bond, maybe Nakobe Dean blitz the quarterback, but then expect one of your edge rushers to drop in coverage.
Yeah. By the way, I'm looking at TJ McConnell. He's made $35 million to this point. Another 45 tacked on. He'll walk out of the game having made $80 million.
Not too shabby. Almost as much as Mike Miss has made in the radio biz.
$80 million for TJ McConnell.
Hey, he earned it, man.
Bless him.
He's earned it. I don't think he would have made the list of NBA players stealing money.
No, well, no, he hustled at least. He was representative.
Yeah.
He made $525,000 his first year as the Sixers, $874 the next year, and then they got a bump up to 1.4 and then 1.6 as a Sixer. And then he just raked it in with the Pacers.
He'd be nice on this team. I would have liked to have seen him as the point guard off the bench instead of Lowry. Right now, Lowry's, 39?
Where did I read somewhere where Larry was retiring? Was that a fake tweet?
I didn't see that.
I saw, yeah.
We'll look it up. I'll see if there's any truth.
Because nobody has reported it. 610-632-0975. Plenty more text on man hair we have to get over. And also segments to bring back. I don't know what they could be. Maybe it's Field of 64, which people robbed me of. I originated that, that Field of 64.
People stole it.
You don't even know what that is, do you?
A lot of your bits have been stolen.
Were you alive when I was doing radio?
I know what the Field of 64 is.
610-632-0975. Back after this. With Josh, our producer today, in place of Ray Dunn. Josh, first of all, there's text on segments to bring back. Again, I don't even remember all the segments that I did over the years. What are people saying?
All right, so first of all, you nailed it. A lot of people want the brackets of 64. I got a couple people saying specifically cereal brackets.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones I did. So what I did, Bill, in honor of the NCAA tournament, I would seed, like I went to the grocery store like a nut. I remember going to the grocery store with a notepad. And I'm
people probably like, what's this guy doing?
Right. I'm taking down all the names of these cereals, like obscure cereal, and I'm seeding them. So like the number one seed would be Cheerios, or whatever you're thinking your number one seeds were. And that was one of the first ones I did, and I would ask the callers who wins this game. Cheerios against the 16 seed or whatever it was.
And then we'd get a winner.
Yes. So yeah, I could do that. I would cut it down to 32 though. I got to get some new subjects. We can do that.
Yeah, we could definitely make that happen. I'm a big cereal guy.
Yeah, I don't eat cereal.
I don't eat it as much anymore. Well, now I've elevated to a healthier cereal, I guess, quote unquote healthier.
I'm not a milkman.
I use almond milk.
Well, that's milk.
Well, not really.
Ew, that's skeevy almond milk. Ew.
Almond milk's not
cereal.
Bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Cereal. I'm going to have regular milk.
You go whole milk, 2%? What do you do?
I'm probably a 2%er. I can't remember. The only time I only buy like a 16-ounce thing of milk.
Because it'll go bad on you?
But I don't use it. So I'll use it for mashed potatoes. When I'm making mashed potatoes, I use the milk. Or if I'm breading chicken cutlets, I'll put a little milk in the eggs.
I love
the egg mixture.
I love a good cutlet.
Yeah.
Chicken cutlets are my favorite.
I can make a cutlet.
Ellie, who called earlier about the meatballs, she makes a hell of a chicken cutlet.
Well, if you're Italian, it's in your blood to make chicken cutlets.
Love chicken cutlets. I love them fresh out of the pan when they're still got the little grease on them or olive oil, whatever you cook it in.
We got some texts on man hair, too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a man hair kind of show. This is, what about a hairy back? Is it acceptable to get your back waxed?
It's essential. I don't understand how these guys that walk on the beach with a hairy back. I don't get it. It's hot enough. Like, really, women don't like hairy backs, do they?
No, and not only that texter, we had Natalie check in on Twitter. And said, talking about the leg hair, if it's enough hair to add a layer of warmth in the winter, it's too much. Other than that, we're good. It's the back hair we're concerned about. So that's coming from Natalie on Twitter. So you're right, it's the back hair.
Is that what you do with back? I don't have back hair. So what do you do, wax it?
I think that's your only option. I don't have back hair either. I think you would have to wax it. I mean, you could get someone to shave it for you, I guess.
You can get the clippers out.
You're not going to reach
it? Would a manscaper do the back?
You can't reach it yourself.
No, you'd have to have somebody do it.
That's what I mean. You'd have to get help. I don't know.
All right.
Got Paul and Glenside disagreeing with Mike, saying, I couldn't imagine one of my 3 daughters bringing a guy home that does shave his legs.
It's not shaving the leg. You see, this is the thing. The hair is still there, but it's not a forest. That's what I'm talking about. Like what Ray has, you can braid.
It's not that bad.
It's
not.
See, if you can braid your leg hair, it's time to get the clippers out, put a guard on it. You know those little clippers I'm talking about, those wall clippers, WHAL, right? And they have all kinds of guards on it.
I use it to shave my head.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and you put the little guards.
All right.
You can do a 3 or a 4.
You're not taking all the hair. It's kind of thinning it.
Yeah, you're just thinning it out.
It's all part of being well groomed for the ladies. All right, what else you got?
Yeah, back to the segments. We got a lot of people asking to bring back the celebrity call-ins.
Oh, well, that was a contest that we did. Celebrity call-ins. Where if somebody could get the biggest celebrity to call, that's when we gave away Eagles season tickets. That was way back in the day when John Marks was my producer. That was way back.
Johnny Marks.
Yeah, so we got Justin Bieber called the show.
Did he?
Yeah.
He must have been a kid back then.
The Biebs called the show, and I was asking him about dating, what's her name? What was she?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah, that's a long time
I go,
ago.
what was the pickup line with Selena? I would ask him a question like that. He was pretty cool.
He's a big hockey
guy. We had Diddy win it one year. Diddy called in.
Diddy ain't calling in now.
No, he's not calling in now. But I didn't know. it's funny because you have to trust that these are the people. So
Yeah.
you have to go through the paces with them. And so I grilled Diddy. I don't think it's just you. He goes, I'll tell you, I'll prove it. It's me. He goes, people go to my Twitter right now, and I'll mention that I'm on the show. Sure enough.
How did he even know?
And you know who also called? Trump.
He called in. But how did they
way
even know?
back in the day when he was before this political thing?
But how did they even know what you were talking about?
People solicit them. That was the whole thing. The listener had to use their connections
to get people to call.
Somebody to call. We had Anne Hathaway call, the actress, Bubba Watson, the golfer.
I like this segment.
We had all kinds of celebrities call the show.
Who was the biggest one, you think? Those are three pretty big ones you just mentioned.
I don't know. It was Diddy and the Biebs are pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't think they were like at the top of their profession.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway was an Oscar winner.
You like Anne Hathaway?
As what? An actress or?
Yeah, I think she's a pretty good actress.
I never even thought about it, to be honest with you.
What's your favorite?
Like Anne Hathaway? Is that the question you asked me?
What's your favorite Anne Hathaway movie?
I don't even remember an Anne Hathaway movie. I know she's a good actress. I don't. Was she in that movie with the Women Love with Meryl Streep?
Yeah, The Devil Wears Prada.
Is that where'd she win an Oscar for? Was she nominated for it? Was that the one she was nominated for?
She was in Les Miserables.
The Devil Wears Prada. He rattled that one off. I've
never seen it.
Oh, stop it!
I'm being honest.
Stop it! You're sitting down with the wife watching the.
I have never seen The Devil Wears Prada. What was the other one? Oh, Love and Other Drugs.
Bill, you a big fan of The Intern?
Yeah.
Never saw that one either.
Yeah, she was I don't know. I can't remember that I watched the Anne Hathaway movie from top to bottom.
Love and Other Drugs, good movie, but not suitable for children.
Where does Princess Diaries rank for you in Anne Hathaway movies, Bill?
Never saw that one either, although I do love the other actress in that movie who played Mary Poppins.
I didn't see the Princess Diaries.
Julie Andrews, man. Mary Poppins was like my favorite movie as a kid. You weren't a Mary Poppins guy back in the day?
Oh, sure.
Loved that movie.
No. 610-632-0975 back after this. 2, Mike Missanelli Show, coming down the home stretch today. Bills tonight, Braves. The line's going down.
Where's it at?
Phillies minus 130 now. Ronaldo Lopez versus Ranger Suarez. Well, scares me a little bit.
Yeah, obviously love to see them win tonight. I just want to see Ranger pitch a good outing, man.
Yeah.
Give me 6 solid innings, make me feel good.
Yeah. By the way, you have a Dyson vacuum?
Do they make the Shark? I think we have a Shark. I think it's a different brand.
Yeah, it is. Dyson is the
top of the line.
Well, it's the Nouveau thing. It's real convenient. I've had a couple problems. I could go to the Dyson repair shop after this.
Do they still have vacuum repair shop?
That Dyson, believe it or not, has one in King of Prussia.
That's pretty convenient.
It is. I was stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I messed up one of them because I tried to wash it out. And apparently you're not supposed to put water in the canister that fuels the vacuum. They're really convenient wireless vacuums.
You may not want to admit this on the air. You may blow your warranty.
No. This is the first one. I had to buy a new one for that one. I screwed this up. This is one I have. I don't know what's going on. I won't get a charge. Like I take it to the Dyson shop.
Yeah. If a vacuum doesn't suck, it's not going to work.
That's correct. That's prophetic.
It is prophetic.
Jimmy in Exton joins us. What's up, Jimmy?
Yo, Mike. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's awesome to hear your voice again. I've been a long-time listener from way back when you were with Steve-O, believe it or not.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for listening all those years.
So I just wanted to get your opinion on Taiwan. I can't stand when they keep giving him the ball and telling him to take the mound because he's throwing glorified batting practice up there.
Well, they're not doing that anymore, but you see what's at work here. They were on the hook for a lot of money, so they're not ready to make that decision to cut him. It's clear. They'll say, okay, we'll go to bullpen. We'll see what happens going into next year. Like this is one of those things where they just did not want to eat the money.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be their only option when it comes down to it.
Yeah, it probably will. I don't know. Maybe he goes on some kind of strengthening program in the off season, and then he shows that his velocity is up. But I don't know. Once you start losing velocity, I don't know what you can do about it.
I just don't. I mean, you listen to him post game. He thinks he had a good outing. Like what?
Yeah, and a lot of people were upset at that. Yeah, but I guess he's trying to put a better face on it. But yeah, that was kind of weird.
Anyway, Mike, really great to hear you again. Always appreciated the show.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it. I hope you keep listening. And tell your friends and neighbors.
Yeah, and to Walker, man, this isn't the town for that. You don't perform well, you come out and you be honest about it. You don't try to sugarcoat it. Philly fans don't put up with that. They don't put up with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But, look, keeping Walker on the roster isn't as big of a deal because the rosters expand on Sunday. They go from 26 to 28. So why not keep him in the bullpen, I guess?
In the last few minutes, I would love to get a traffic update. A lot of people headed down the shore right now, right?
You see,
Labor Day weekend, the last weekend.
I think they probably would. You going down?
I don't know.
So I got.
They play some golf tomorrow morning.
Tournament or just for fun?
It's a tournament, but it's a one day. Like you and your partner post a score, and it's like daily. You can win like every day for Labor Day weekend.
Better ball. Between you and your partner?
No, I think it's a score based on handicap.
All right. We didn't talk about this. I think I may have mentioned it to you off the air, talking about handicap. How about Scotty Scheffler? That sandbagger. He plays as a +7 against his friends when he comes home. It's ridiculous. He should be like a +15.
Yeah, he's a lot of people don't know what +7 means, but he has to it's a reverse. Like if you're a -7. You get 7 shots. He does the reverse. He has to give up.
Yeah, so if you're a 15 and you're going up against Scotty Scheffler as a +7, he's going to give you 22 strokes.
Correct.
Which you would get crushed.
Yeah. That seems way low for a professional golfer.
Dude, I got +4s at my golf club.
I know. I don't know how he's gotten away with that.
He's stealing money from people.
He really is. He needs to steal money like in these $100 Nassaus.
No way I'm playing against him for money at +7.
Chuck in New York, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Chuck.
Hey guys, I'm headed back to New York. Had the lovely experience of taking my girls to a first Phillies last night.
Oh, beautiful.
Great game.
Yes,
Really
it was a
game.
great game. A great one to hang in there with. Everybody's had the mush until they hit that home run.
No, I know. And I mean, they're 7-9, so they understand a little bit, but not too much. And we're down 4. They're just like, what's going on here? I was like, I don't know. You got to see what happens. But then, of course, our guy Marsh and Casty came up big. So really great time. I only called in because Anne Hathaway is a terrible actress.
Yeah, I don't disagree, Chuck. I don't disagree.
She got catfished, didn't she? She was dating some guy that took her for millions, some fake European Casanova.
How do you know all this stuff about Anne Hathaway? I didn't know that stuff. So, well, she got.
Type of stuff.
Oh yeah, he's right. I'm looking it up. She was dating a con man, apparently, who was arrested for 14 counts of fraud. But I think they were dating. I don't know if she was catfish. I think she was dating this guy.
She's married to somebody named Adam Schulman.
I'm not the guy that quickly dropped Devil Wears Prada, Billy.
Her birthday.
Yeah.
She's a fellow Scorpio, though.
I swear I've never seen it. I just know she was in it.
Her birthday is the day after my birthday.
Listen, guys, have a great holiday.
All right, man.
Thanks, Chuck.
Annie's a Scorpio.
Yeah, she's not the best of actresses. But she was in...
she was nominated for an Oscar. How could she not be a great actress? What was she nominated an Oscar for?
What did she win an Oscar for, Anne Hathaway?
She won one?
Or was she nominated? What was it for?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not...
I'm looking it up.
I'm a little slight on the Anne Hathaway knowledge here. But here's why she called. She has an uncle who lives in the Philadelphia area. And he was the onus for her calling in.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, I don't know it. She didn't win, though. She wasn't the biggest celebrity that year who had called in. And she was a pretty big celebrity.
It says her accolades include an Academy Award. So I got to see what did she win the Oscar for?
Looks like Les Mis.
Les Mis.
Les Mis?
I was. Can I admit that I liked that movie?
I liked it too, Bill.
It's pretty good.
I saw it on Broadway. Not the movie.
Movie was pretty good.
Okay. I don't. I think she's a fine actress. I've never heard anybody say that Anne Hathaway is a terrible actress.
She's not terrible. She's not great. She's just average to me. I'm not dying to go see Anne Hathaway.
You win an Oscar. Somebody has appreciated your work, man.
It's true.
Schlemiels don't win Oscars.
Brendan Fraser won an Oscar for The Whale.
Yeah.
I watched it the other night. I sat down to watch it with my wife. Dude, that was terribly boring.
It probably was boring, but was he good in it? He gained 200 pounds for that or something.
No, it was a fat suit they put on him.
Yeah, but he had gained a lot of weight.
Oh, he gained weight too?
He gained weight for it.
I guess he was good. It wasn't, I don't know, not my type of film.
Yeah?
It was definitely a film, not a movie.
I haven't seen it. Harry in Mount Airy. Harry.
Mike.
What's up?
Yeah, this is Harvey. How you doing?
Oh, Harvey. How you doing, Harv?
What's going on? Mike, I go way back with you and Steve-O, and then I guess I caught the bits and pieces of you and Tyrone, but I'm about in the same age category as you. Wanted to talk a little Phillies.
Go ahead.
Not feeling real good about them, man. I guess because maybe I'm living in the past too much. I think they're swinging for the fences too much. I don't think they can win the big one like that, Mike. You more of a baseball man than I am.
Nobody plays small ball in this day and age. It's all about the home run, man. Look at the teams that are winning now. Look at them. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the Yankees. It's all about the home run, bro.
But they don't hit the home run as much as the Phillies. I mean, they got some guys that still placing the ball. Not all of them.
That's not the way the game's played anymore. You don't play small ball anymore to win.
I'm not saying they have to play small ball. I'm more or less saying play smart ball.
What has bugged you? How have they not played smart?
I mean, if you just look at their record,
they're in first place, bro.
It says they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, they're not winning the series, and they'd be lucky if they get out of the division.
Why are you so down on them?
I'm not down, Mike.
You are down on them. Why? I don't get it. Why do we want to be down on the Phillies? They're in first place. They got a good lineup. Their pitching staff's good.
Mike, I'm a Philly fan.
I get it, but look at the team they put together for you here.
Mike, I can only call it like I see it, Mike. It don't look they'll win their division because they started out strong. But I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I've been a Philly fan for a long time. Maybe it's lack of confidence. I'm a Sixers fan.
I think you're tainted by past disappointments.
But Mike, just to change subjects, how do you like the Sixer move?
Well, I can't complain about them. I wonder about the age of their bench players.
Yeah.
And how much they're really going to help. In 2004, Anne Hathaway had a romantic relationship with Italian real estate developer Raffaello Folieri. He had a Manhattan-based foundation providing vaccinations for children in poor countries.
Is that the one who...
In 2008, he was investigated by the IRS for failure to file the required nonprofit information forms, and he was arrested on charges of defrauding investors out of millions of dollars in a scheme in which he posed as the Vatican's real estate agent. Oh.
So he was a con man.
He was a total con man.
I don't know why this just reminded me of... Did you see the documentary about the con man doctor who was creating the windpipes that were fake? Did you see that?
Oh, yes, I did see that.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
It really was. That guy was a creep.
He's putting fake windpipes in people.
And they were all dying.
Yes. And yet he was like somehow...
Yeah, what was it? That's a pretty good documentary, by the way. I forget what that was called.
I forget what it's called, too.
He got away with it for a really long time.
Josh, see if you could
he claimed
figure out what that was called.
Landmark discovey.
It's called like The Good Doctor or something like that.
And people were so desperate because they were going to die that they underwent the operation and then wound up dying later.
It was wild, man. It was pretty wild. But to his point, what was it Harry being nervous about the Phillies? Harvey being nervous about the Phillies. You know I still have my concerns as well. I think they're going to win the division. I think that's fine. There'll probably be a 1 or 2. It's not a guarantee with Milwaukee right on their heels. But I do have my concerns that the outfield doesn't have enough bats. Now, if Marsh can come on, great. But I think outside of Castellanos, which I got to start saying I trust him. I have to. What do you have in center? What do you have in left? So I have my concerns there. And then I still would love to see Ranger have a good outing to know he's healthy. So that's where my concerns are. And it was called The Bad Surgeon on Netflix. That's the documentary.
Bad Surgeon. Yeah. He was like an international playboy, too.
He was. You know what always bothers me about these documentaries, though? They extend them into like 8 or 9 episodes when they could probably be 2.
Yeah.
They could be a lot shorter. Like that one could have been shorter, and it dragged on a little bit.
Yes. By the way, I know that your family has been listening to my true crime podcast, The Coldest Murder. We just recorded episode number 4 yesterday, so that'll be out in a couple of days. And in this documentary, we shine some light on the girl, Carol Ann Doherty, was the 9-year-old who was murdered, and the people that grew up with her and were in class with her, and the aftermath of what it was like having one of your classmates no longer there with you.
Dude, I am hoping, I know you are too, that you break this thing open and solve this damn murder, man. That would be one of the coolest things. You've done a lot of cool things in your career. If you could solve this damn thing that's been cold for, 60 years?
Yeah, well, it's going to be solved scientifically. I'm hoping that my podcast gets it to that point.
Well, you're definitely bringing light to it.
Yeah. So, hopefully, if you haven't listened to it, I'll give it a listen and tell me how you feel about it. It'll lure you in because you're going to want to solve the crime. We lay out all the suspects it could be. You're going to have your own opinions on the information that you receive from the podcast on who you think did it.
How'd that guy know the bruise on the hip from the pew?
Well, yeah. And one of the suspects described how he actually committed the crime, but he was dismissed as a drunk. But he gave one clue that was eerie in that he said when he chased her up to the church loft where she was eventually murdered, she hit her hip on the pew.
And there was a bruise, right?
And in the autopsy, there was a bruise on her hip.
It's interesting.
So, whatever.
Mikey Miss. Detective Miss.
Vineet on a cell. Vineet, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Vineet?
Hey, Mike. How you guys doing?
What's going on, Vineet?
Just a couple of quick points before I get to my Phillies points. Mm-hmm. You talk about parking and being close to the car. What's your policy on head-in versus reverse parking since you park for leaving? Do you go reverse or do you go?
No, I never reverse. I don't understand why people would reverse.
I don't understand it either.
Wait. If you're a second-level thinker, as you are, if you're preparing for the exit, you should reverse in. Now, I don't, but you should reverse in if you're preparing for exit.
The time you are wasting trying to get that to reverse in when people are probably trying to wait to go down that aisle.
But it is a safer exit when you have people.
It's a selfish act.
I never reverse.
I don't do it either. But it's second-level thing.
If you're a good driver, you can easily back out and come out. Like the reversing parking into the parking, I never got that. And obviously, when you're going to grocery
First of all, it's more difficult. I don't get it. Like, it's so much more difficult to do that. Like, why would you choose the more difficult thing when you just veer into a parking space? I don't get it.
Here's another thing. I'm an old school driver. I've been driving for like 35 years. Now, I never use the camera, even if my car doesn't have a camera. But if I'm driving a car with a camera, I still go, I look back, I look side. I don't use the camera as much, but that's just me. I just find it very weird, the reverse camera.
Hold on, before you get into your Phillies point. So this is from AAA, Mike. AAA urges drivers to back into parking spaces when possible because it provides better visibility upon pulling out and allows for a quicker exit. AAA recommends it.
Well, they've got their ass backwards, AAA, because it's ridiculous to waste time and hold up people that are trying to also park.
Benit, you're worried about the Phillies, man?
I am worried about the Phillies, Mike. I was looking at the last 5-6 World Series winners. Their records in August and September is like 17-11, 18, other than the Rangers. 17-11, 18-8, 18-8, 16-10, 21-7, 17-7. They go with a lot of momentum into October. We have 14-12, I think, at this point for August. One more game to go today. Hopefully we win this Ranger start. But we have to build momentum in September for us to really feel good. For me to at least feel good going into October. That's really what I'm thinking here. And I'd like to see what you guys talk about.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not worried about this team. I think they're going to be fine. I haven't worried about them for a really long time. I think they have a good lineup, and I just I find it hard to believe that these other teams are going to play at such a great level that they're going to take the Phillies' glory away from them. I
still fear the Dodgers in the playoffs, though. I mean, that's where it's all going to come down to. Can they beat the Dodgers in the NLCS? And I have my concerns.
No, they've beaten them already.
They have. But look what the Braves did last year and the year before. Always beat the Phillies in the regular season.
It comes down to pitching. I think the Phillies may have an edge there. All right, everybody have a great weekend. It's the Labor Day weekend. I won't be here Monday. Bill will be here. But this is a weekend. Just relax. Labor Day means you relax from labor, not you do labor. Not a lot of people will do some labor.
That's correct. And the next time we're on the air together, we're going to be preparing for an Eagles game, Mike.
That is correct. Next week, the preparation for the game in Brazil that everybody's looking forward to, except the Eagles themselves, who will be locked in their hotel room.
Yeah, it's an interesting home opener. Home opener in Brazil.
Everybody going down to the shore? Is it going to be a nice weekend at the shore? What's the weather like? I haven't even checked it.
I haven't checked it either. Josh, you got anything for us?
What's the weather at the shore, Josh?
Oh, man, I got the weather in Philly. We got 85 sunny Sunday, 50% chance of rain. So,
What about Ocean City? What about
the shore, Josh? The shore.
I don't know. I'm not a shoresman myself.
I got it. High of 79 tomorrow and cloudy. 40% chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 81. That's Ocean City.
Rain?
That's what it says. 40% chance.
No good. All right. Anyway, enjoy your weekend anyway. Stay tuned. Tyrone and Ricky are next. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.